Hey, so what's going on, people? I like to start these lives on time, or at least maybe like a minute or two early. Kind of helps get the notifications trickling out there so the people that do care to watch these things can actually watch these things when they start or whatever. I mean, it's not like super early. I set it for 8 and it's like 7:59, but you know, any time before that is technically early, I suppose. But anyway, so as it kind of is covered, I guess, in the description just a little bit, anyways. So I'll be going through not the whole Boost collection because if you saw that playlist, you know that that takes a lot of time. But I'm going to go through a large chunk of it. Probably, well, no, because I was about to say like at least half, but given like the number of Yeezys I have, that kind of skews things just a bit. But as far as like other than that, it's probably at least half though. But just gonna wait for some people to get in here, kind of talk, kill some time or whatever. But in the meantime, let's see. I will say, what's that? Oh, some alarm going off here. But if you saw, like, so apparently YouTube gives you the option to put like a trailer in front of your lives and stuff. So I figured I'd use that since I've been doing all those like short videos or whatever, and I had just recorded one. Figured that would make sense to put it in front of this since it was pretty well related, you know? And then there's Homegrown Kicks who says that's a lot of boost. Well, you are going to see a whole lot more than whatever six or something is showing up here. And then Pain, is that Pair Infinity? Says good afternoon, and good afternoon to you too. It's very much evening over here, but hey, it is what it is, right? So, one of the things that started this whole thing, right? This was patient zero, if you want to call it that. It was the very first Ultra Boost that I ordered, which was exactly 5 years ago today. That's why I'm doing this today, right? But again, if you saw the trailer and listened to it, then you already know that. But yeah, so I had back in 2016, the Boost situation was not at all like it is today. So if you wanted a pair, you had to jump through some hoops or pay like a lot of money. And these were had jumped in stock on Adidas. I figured I'd see what all the hype was about. I was prepared to be underwhelmed, honestly, and made that order. And then when these arrived, it was definitely a game changer. And as you can see, these have been through a fair amount. Well, maybe it's not showing up in the camera because it looks like it's kind of washed out. But this here, man, like I can't tell you how many miles I've put on these things since, over the last 5 years. It's slowed down considerably lately, but that's just because, I have so many to kind of rotate through the rotation. Let me get this into another window here so I can see things a little clearer. So let's see, there we go. Homegrown Cake says, from where I'm located, it's night, but good afternoon. Yeah, we're in the same time zone, he and I are. So yeah, given that it's like 8 p.m. here, I would consider that night. But anyway, so that's the one that started this whole thing. Man, and it's funny enough, it's like one of those colorways that I would normally not even go after, just like the plain black and white. But sometimes, like I've said in the past, you buy stuff just so you can see how you feel about it. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump on into this because again, for anybody who wants to like watch this later, I don't want them to have to sit through a whole bunch of crap to get to it. And I mean, it's only 8:02, so they won't have to skip too far ahead. But I know, like, I am less inclined to watch lives and stuff. Not this one. This is not the one to start with yet. I'm a little less inclined to watch lives and stuff just because they kind of just don't really start when they're supposed to start a lot of the time. And that's a little annoying. See that? When you deal with a lot of boxes, you get used to like handling a lot of boxes. So this is where we're starting. So these are somewhat in order, right? Chronologically, as far as like what they are, So that means that first up we have ourselves an Ultra Boost 1.0. I don't think this was one of the original like first colorways. It might have been, but I'm not good with the history of anything, honestly. But this one right here, they came back in 2019. I missed out because I didn't want to pay like the full price, but patience worked out and I ended up getting these for a good 100 or something like that. I think I had to get them from one of those UK sites or something. But man, this was one that I wanted, and it sucks that it doesn't look right in the camera. But I've done a video. I've done a video on pretty much, well, most of these. So if you want to see it as it's supposed to look, definitely watch the video because that is going to be the thing to see. So moving on, and also the hard part about this is going to be keeping things organized because let's see if you look over here, is this camera? Let me make sure this right. There's like a lot of shoes over there, so we're going to be here for a minute, people. So if you watch like a few minutes or you watch the whole thing, whatever your choice is, do whatever makes sense to you. I appreciate any little bit because it all counts. So, and also, where's the, if anybody does care to jump in for whatever reason and you want to add commentary to my commentary or whatever, feel free to. I'll put the link in there, What am I saying missing here? It's 8 p.m. here in Ontario. Nice, Canada. I've been to Toronto. I believe Toronto's in Ontario. I just picked up the Travis Scott Jordan 6 British Cat. And that seems like a long name. Super excited. I find Ultraboosts outsoles wear out way too quickly. I walk a husky and run through Ultraboosts easily. The 4D outsole is much more durable. I was just saying something about that, like in my last, I think it was my most recent 4D video, because it sounds fresh, Let's see. And then there's BX Semi-Retired says, patience is a virtue. It is. Your Uncaged are awesome. I used to love them. Well, you'll be seeing, I think, 3 or 4 pair of those tonight, about 2.5 hours north of Toronto. Okay, cool. Yeah, I went there. I don't know what triggered that phone. I went there in 06 and 07. Yeah, good times, though. It's 10:05, and hello to Australia. To Ben, is that Thule? Because I've seen things spelled that way, and it's been Thule. So we just showed a 1. So now next up would be this. This is a 2.0. And if you saw, I don't remember what video it was. Actually, it wasn't a video related to the shoe. It was some other random thing. But this is now a concert shoe. I wore these to a turnover show over at the Norva like early last year. And that's when I learned just how bad these are if somebody spills a drink on your shoe. Because granted, it was a clear drink, so the coloring or the staining wasn't a factor, but the whole drink went right through the shoe, right to the foot, right through the sock, everything. So yeah, wasn't great, but you can't tell though. And they look pretty cool. The shock yellow multicolor 2.0. So this is definitely a favorite of mine as far as the 2.0s go. And maybe overall too. Let's see. Buddy at Adidas said Ultraboost can last 16 and yours are about 500. And BX says, I've been MIA. How about, I've been the opposite of MIA. I've been IA, as in Iowa. So maybe you just haven't been paying attention, because I put up all kinds of videos. Speaking of, I put up a record the other day. I did 21 videos in a single day. Though the shorts, I don't fully count those, but if you cram enough of them together, it's like a whole video. Let's see. I just ordered the Ultraboost 6.0 for Adidas from Canada, from Adidas Canada. Can't wait to try them. That's a lot of steps. Ultraboost is the most comfortable shoes that I've ever had. I've tried the Nike Zoom X Invincible Run. Yes, I have that on my list too, that Invincible Run, whatever. I've heard some good things. I also have to get a pair of the React Infinity Run 2s. This right here is the first shoe that I ever, I don't want to say waited in line for, it was a real line, but I showed up an hour, maybe at most an hour and a half early for these, because I really wanted them. And that's when Ultraboosts were selling like hotcakes. I looked that up the other day. It's from the 1800s. That's where that term comes from. Anyways, so I wanted these. I went down to the El Paso Mall, Cielo Vista, however you pronounce that. Waited in line at the Foot Locker that I shopped at faithfully back then, all for nothing, because some dude was there when I got there. I was in line behind him, and then nobody else showed up. And then on top of that, these shoes sat in that store for the next couple of weeks. So some unnecessary effort, but when you want something, you want something. So you do whatever it takes to get it. And that's what happened with these. But I do really like them. I wore these to Comic-Con, I guess it would have been 2017. Is that right? Yeah, that sounds right. It had to have been 2017. So definitely a good shoe for that, you know, because you're walking around all day. It's just kind of one of those things that makes sense. And now, moving right along, this would be very much the same, but just the 4.0 version. It's the multicolor 4.0, right? Personally, I think the 3 looks better, but it's kind of early on in my pack completion mentality, so I kind of had to have them. And I also got a pair for my mom, and we wore these, I want to say, to Comic-Con 2018. That sounds right, because it would have been the next year. So, you know, overall, not my favorite color of all my Ultra Boosts, but I don't dislike it either. You know, it's just not everything could be at the top, right? Because if I kept saying, oh, this is my favorite, oh, this is my favorite, eventually you're going to start to wonder if any of these are truly my favorites. I mean, I would. Let's see, what am I missing here? Guess I've been out of the loop. Boost is like, yes, Wade County, what's going on, man? I guess I've been out of the loop, and then some messages were retracted. The Invincible runs are super comfy, just ugly. Yeah, it's not a visually pleasing shoe, but sometimes, like, because I have mixed feelings about the React. Is it the one of those React shoes? I don't know if those are also React, but actually a lot of the React shoes. I don't know. I was just talking about that in a video I recorded today that will come out. I don't know. My videos are all out of order now because Cam messed things up for me. Actually, we'll come back to this one because this one's out of order. Like I said, there's a rhyme to this here. So, moving on. We just did a 4. So after the 4s came the 19s, right? Now, this is actually one of my favorite 19s. It didn't do a whole lot for me as far as reviews or anything goes. But, I don't know. I like the gray and the blue combination there. And these have definitely had a lot of wear as well. I mean, it doesn't necessarily show, but by my standards, they've had a lot of wear, right? Because again, if you have like, I don't know, probably have like just Ultra Boosts of different variations or whatever, I'd say like maybe 30 to 40, right? So if I'm trying to wear all of them like evenly, I got to do a lot of work to make that happen, which also means that not all of them get worn a whole lot, unfortunately. Which is a thing that sucks about having a large collection. People often say, oh, I wish I had that many shoes. Like, trust me, it is not a thing to wish for. It's a thing that you get through, you know, attrition or whatever. If you are into buying shoes, you'll end up with them if you have enough disposable income. This right here, though. Wait, let me see if I'm missing any things. I found the multicolor slightly used for a great price. I mean, it's definitely something to consider. And Homegrown is asking BX where he's been. Dude, focus on the real thing here, which is me. Come on. You know better than that. And JECC says the outsole on Ultra Boost 21 is super durable. I can't vouch for that. I have not worn those nearly as much as I wanted to. And then Homegrown says the translucent cage is different. Oh, yeah. He must have been talking about the 19s. Yeah, it was a weird thing, but I like it. So this right here, the 20. This wasn't my first pair, but it's the one I wanted the most out of the ones that I have, which is only 3. And I remember getting these from Hibbett and having to pay all the dollars that they wanted. No coupons. Not a one, I don't think. If anything, it might have been $10, but that's not a lot in Ultra Boost prices. And then I proceeded to make one of my worst videos ever. I hate that video so much. Well, that's a strong word, but I do dislike it a fair amount. Only because it looks like trash, right? The lighting was awful and whatnot. I don't know, like the on feet may have been decent, but overall, I just remember being very unhappy with how that video went. But people watch it because, you know, sometimes people just have slightly lower expectations, and sometimes that works out in my favor. So now we're going to get into some other stuff. So that was the 20. After the 20, between the 20 and the 21, they did have a couple other models. This is the 5.0 DNA when they started kind of bringing them back, focusing on the fact that it's a lifestyle shoe, right? So not so much of a performance-based thing like the 19s and to some extent the 20s. So that's where they started bringing in all the crap and making them look fancy. And this one, as you see, it's got like the glow in the dark thing. So when you hit the black light on there, it's got some cool effects or whatever. it should glow a little bit. Yeah, it'll glow a little bit if I hold this on here long enough. But at the same time, it's not very dark in this room because that wouldn't make sense. But you do see a little bit of a glow there. Then also on the back, you'll have a little bit there too. The thing being, once again, it's just not dark in here, you know? But definitely check out the video I did on these. And I only say that because the glow in the dark on foot looks pretty cool. So that's worth checking out just for that part, you know? Again, there's always timestamps in the video. So you can just go ahead and click on through to that portion, watch that for the next minute and a half, and then be done. Let's see. I really like the green color on that 20. Yeah, that 20 is a work of art. And you like the 5.0 too. And now moving from the 5, we have the 6. And if you saw my review on the 6, it kind of alluded to some things that I may not be too thrilled about. And then if you saw has that even gone up yet? If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen my rant about these, my little daily shorts. And I gotta say, like, the upper of this is probably one of the best uppers they've made in a long while. However, the rest of the shoe, like this part over here, like the cage is super solid for no reason. It feels like a plastic knife, like a durable one, like a heavy duty from Sam's Club one. And then you got this part that just is a little unforgiving and just digs into your feet. Yeah, I wanted to like this shoe so much more than I do, which sucks because I generally really like Ultraboosts, you know, but you gotta be honest, right? Not everything is worth liking. So it sucks, but hey, it is what it is, you know. Moving right along. Now we're on to, wait, what's this? I really like the pattern on the 5.0. You should buy the Ultraboost 5 Solar Slime. I have mine and it's awesome. I mean, I'm sure I might like it and all, but the thing is, and like I was just talking about with my 4D video, I've got a lot of shoes overall, and there are some things like certain models that I do really like, but the problem is that I don't want to have a whole bunch of the same thing. Don't get me wrong, I've seen numerous colorways of certain shoes that I like, and you can call me a hypocrite if you've ever seen my like Gel Light 3 collection. But going into the future here, I got to be a little smarter because years ago, I didn't have a lot of shoes, so it didn't matter. I could buy like 3 pairs of Air Max 1s, and it was okay. This right here, surprisingly, is my favorite 21 and has not been worn outside of an on-foot thing. It's got this tennis ball color thing, minus the pink on the bottom. It's a little bit on the inside as well. But the Ultraboost 21, man, like all the things they did wrong with the 20, they corrected with the 21. Like, I don't know what happened. Like the 19 was good, the 20 was not, and then the 21 brought things back. So that's cool, you know? It's almost like, I don't know, it's like going from like, you have XP, then that was cool, and then Vista was terrible, and then 7 was pretty solid, you know? It's like, same situation, you know? But yeah, I do really like those. And so up next, we're gonna get into some of the other Ultraboost type models, right? So the ones that, nothing special about them, it's just like different styles to them or whatever. Move those in a second, can't do it with one hand. This is the Ultraboost Mid, right? Now, this was a pretty cool piece of shoe history to me or whatever, because they didn't make many of them. And this to me was the better of the two. I almost went back to look for the other one just so I could have both of them, but I can't complain. Like just having this one is plenty for me. I really like the way they did these laces. Like I can't describe this feeling. It's almost like yarn, you know? I think this was one of my earlier shorts too, but this was definitely one of the shoes that I really like having. It's kind of like got the same Ultraboost Uncaged sort of vibe, but then it just kind of goes up a little bit higher. It's a little bit of a thicker mesh on it, or thicker prime knit. But yeah, I know mids aren't for everybody, but this one right here is definitely for me. Let's see, what am I missing here? They messed up the tongue on that one. You must be talking about the 6. Let's see. Probably gonna skip that. I see. I got the 6 Parleys. I'll get to a Parley Ultraboost, well, a Parley Boost shoe, because again, this is a boost collection in general, we're just starting with the Ultraboost section of it because that just kind of makes sense. So now we're going to continue on with like the ones that are slightly different than your standards, right? Mostly just, again, material based. So I just had these on the other day. That video hasn't gone up yet. This is the Ultraboost CC1, CC standing for Climate Cool. One thing I didn't mention in that video, maybe I said it in the review, but it was so long ago and I do so many reviews, I have no idea what I talk about. This is a bit annoying because it does not do well, like, because it's right there in the bend of your foot and it just sucks. For functionality though, this thing was made for like all this extra ventilation and everything. And this is definitely the shoe to go for if you're looking for something that's going to be lightweight and breathable. I mean, it looks bad, you know, but if you can get past that, or if you just happen to like this look, cool. But I am not a visual fan of this thing whatsoever. But at the same time, like what it was made to do, I can't argue for it at all. Alexa, set the AC to 74.
The AC is set to 74.
If that triggered anybody's, like, I would apologize, but I don't know. I'm not going to, so there's that. Let's see, moving right along. This one, standard thing, a lot of people have these. This is the Ultraboost 1. It's just a wool version, right? So it looks very much the same from a distance, you know what I'm saying? But once you get up close, I forgot how soft these things are. Like, this is really nice, you know? Like, if they could make a blanket out of this or something, I'd be all for it. But anyways, so yeah, the Ultraboost gray wool. I almost bought the burgundy one also, but I have like 2 pairs of burgundy Ultraboost, and I was like, okay, we're drawing a line in the sand here. Like, we're not doing this for now. Let's see. 21s are near perfect. Yeah, the only issue I have with the 21s is just like they have that orthopedic look, which I'm not super okay with, but the feel of it, the improvements, like the running, I did a running performance, right? Yeah, I did the running review on those. No complaints. Have I worn the 21s with no-show socks? I've seen pictures of people bleeding around the ankle. No, I don't wear socks like that. Like, I mean, I'm wearing a pair right now of like the low ones, but that's because I'm indoors and I'm wearing slides, you know? And it's just something that I wear sometimes when I'm indoors. But if I'm leaving, I don't wear no-show socks. I wear like the ones that might maybe come like right above your ankle there. Not, you know, and sometimes I have those ones that come up like maybe like, what's it, like a couple inches above there or something, you know, like a normal length socks, true cut maybe. I forget what they call socks. Let's see. I just don't like how the cage is kind of hard. Dude, like kind of hard is an understatement. Like I walked around in those all day and I was so disappointed in Adidas, you know, because like they've made so many good things, and that it's like they didn't put any quality control into it. Like nobody tested them out. They just made them hope for the best. This right here, I really like this colorway. It reminds me of the Desert Sage 350s. It's the Ultraboost S&L suede and leather. So you got the suede around the toe box. You got the leather on the side here on the cage and everything. Yeah, it's a pretty cool one. It also kind of is similar to those Take Flight Jordan 8s. I think that's what they're called. They're like, you know, same color. But yeah, this was one that I saw and I really wanted this one. But the first one that I got, I want to say, was the gray pair, gray and black. This was the superior one. It's just, you know, I wasn't trying to pay that superior price. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't build up a solid shoe collection by not being cheap, you know? You can get all like the heat shoes or whatever if you want to go do that thing. But me, I'm a thrifty shopper, right? You may not necessarily think it, but I tell you, like, you'd be surprised how many things I'm able to pull off under the retail price. So let's see, put that over there. So another one. This is, what is that? Oh, it's a shipping thing or something. This was also a video worth watching because there's all this 3M stuff going on in here. This is one of the cold ready Ultraboosts. And so I did the 3M on feet video, you know, turn the lights off and all that stuff. These look pretty cool, man. I haven't worn these yet. I probably missed my window for it to be like cold and stuff. They kind of remind me of like the VaporMax utility, not the 19, like the original VaporMax utility. But you know, they should be pretty good. I can't say anything about them honestly. They've got a nice rugged outsole and all that stuff. I do like this thing kind of, you know, it's got a little slot for you to poke it through or whatever. And it's water repellent, as it says on the side. So yeah, this is a pretty cool one. It really is. And then putting this away, if I can get into this box here. So put that back in there. So I know we've gone through a fair amount. We've still got a fair amount to go. So again, to anybody that's sticking with me, I definitely appreciate it. Let's see. I just don't like how the cage is kind of... Okay, yeah, I read that one. So now we have... Where's that? We have another cold ready. So this one, I actually kind of like a little bit more. I don't know if it's going to do it or not, but like the way they did the upper on here, this pink part, it will actually like glow in the... Well, it won't glow in the dark, but it'll light up, you know, if you like have light on it. Because I noticed this when I was out at the park or something running around in these, and then I got home and they were, you know, I walked in and like the lights were off, and so I could see like all that glow. It's a lot brighter when you know you don't have like lights on and stuff, but it's kind of a cool effect. And then otherwise, it's just like the standard utility type of thing, you know, got the water resistance and all that, or well, this one says water repellent, but still. And I wore these to Iowa when I went out there for whatever reason back in February, because it was going to be snowy and rainy and stuff. And it was a really good idea. So definitely good to have a couple of these in the collection. So hopefully that's showing up in some kind of way. If it's not, I don't know what to tell you, because it didn't make it into the video because I didn't know that it was a factor in the video. But yeah, it's a pretty cool one to have. It's always good to have a utility pair of shoes, honestly, because you know, you never know when you're going to be like outside where it's raining. I get a lot of comments where people asking me, oh, is this good for the rain? Is that good for the rain? Like, if you want a shoe good for the rain, buy a shoe made for the rain, you know? Also, it kind of varies based on like where you live, because the rain here, it's like, it's weird. Sometimes it's like light, other times it's just like a torrential downpour. What are we looking at over there? Okay. So now we're getting into like two of the uncaged, right? Because what would a Boost collection be without some uncaged? And this one, haven't worn it lately, but it's probably my favorite Ultraboost uncaged. It's this is like the khaki brown colorway. I forget what it was, but they came out like All-Star Weekend of, what year was that? If I can see the tag in here. But they came out, and I was online ready to buy them, 2017. I was ready to buy them, bought them before they sold out. And then that was around the time that like Ultraboosts were starting to not sell out. So had I waited, I could have got these for like some crazy low price. But, you know, it was still kind of hit and miss on what would sell out. But overall, though, the Ultraboost Uncaged, I'm going to stand by this, is my favorite version of the Ultraboost, period. I mean, like I said, I like this mid thing and all that, but the Uncaged, it just feels so much better. The look, I don't know if that's better than the standard. You know, that's debatable, but the feeling of them is so much better. And in case you're curious, like, they don't have a cage on the outside, but on the inside, there's like this lining that kind of like gives the shoe structure. So that's where the cage is. If you watch any of my uncaged Ultraboost videos, there's close-ups in there. So if you watch like the actual review part, you'll see what I'm talking about. So there's that. Set this guy down here. Set this guy up here. We need him in a second. And then from that point on, they kind of just stopped making the uncaged for a long time until last year. They threw this one out. This is the 5.0 DNA, right? 5.0 uncaged DNA. And so looking at this, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, they're bringing them back. They're going to make some more colors, right? But I bought these because I just wanted to see what they were all about. And then they didn't make any more. So I was like, well, what? You know? And again, second verse, same as the first. I do really like these. The look overall, isn't that great in my personal opinion, but it's one of those ones where I'm not against it. And the comfort is really good, so that gives it some extra bonus points. There's some sort of matrix or something where you find out like if something's worth buying for you, put the little points in different spots. But yeah, these, I can't complain about them other than just not really liking how they look. I'm not sure why, they just kind of came off a little weird. But otherwise, it's something that I'm glad to have. And I've noticed that with Adidas, so now I'm starting to buy more of their little one-off designs because you never know if they're going to make more or if they're not going to make more. So, I don't know. Now we're going to get into some of the more like the commemorative type things or whatever. So this right here, this is just a standard Ultra Boost, but it's the 5th anniversary, right? So I don't think the 3M shows up if I hit the, no. I would need to have like an actual flash hit this, but it's got the all 3M upper and stuff. So if you follow me on like the Instagram or whatever, you'll probably see a picture of these later tonight or something. But this right here, and it's got like these yellow tips on it, So me being a big black and yellow and a big 3M guy, this thing right here is like up there for me. And I got these like at a crazy discount because Adidas has some sale going on their website where certain things were 50% off if you use the coupon, but something was wrong and the coupon was working on everything. So instead of paying, I think these were like a 220 or something like that, maybe 200, whatever they cost, like I got them for a nice discount. And then Adidas, being the kind people that they are, they honored every sale that went through. And so now I have these. And looking back at it, like nowadays, I would have just bought them and I thought of it, like even at that price. But back then, I guess I didn't have as much money back then or whatever. But, or maybe I just had different standards. I don't know. Did I? Either way, nowadays I wouldn't think about it. That's the moral of that story, and I would have just bought them. You guys have seen the channel, some of you. If you're not subscribed, you may not know what I'm talking about. Don't take that as me pushing you to subscribe. I don't care if you do or if you don't. It's fine. The videos can be watched either way, honestly. So, moving right along. This is the Japan Fireworks Ultra Boost 4.0? Yeah, 4.0. So, it's kind of a cool deal. It's cooler on this side in some ways, but it's kind of blocked by the cage. And I don't know if you can really tell in the pictures, but it's got this nice sort of like fabric overlay on the cage, right? Gives it a nice premium sort of vibe. You got the Japanese flag thing going on at the top. Overall, this is a really cool looking shoe to me, I honestly keep forgetting that I even have it though. And then on the inside it says Tokyo, because that's a big thing in Japan. So there's that. But yeah, this right here, the Japanese Fireworks Ultra Boost. It's not one that I see a lot of people. I don't know if I've seen anybody with these. I mean, because I had to get them from Japan, like, so my friend, his wife is Japanese. So I think she had her family like send them to her and then like they gave them to me. So yeah, it was a big ordeal, like paid a lot of extra shipping on account of that. But I mean, I got them for as retail could be. And that's always what I go for. Like, those reseller prices I'm not into, but sometimes I end up paying close to that just because of like jumping through some extra hoops. But it's the principalities, Let's see. Those are based off the OG Energy Boost colorway. Okay, I don't know anything about that one. But yeah, look them up sometime. Like, they're probably not like crazy expensive, I wouldn't imagine, because I don't think people really knew about them. And then moving on with the commemorative things, this is from the Seoul 1988 Olympics. It says Seoul in there, right? You got like the different colored things to match up like the Korean flag and all that stuff. So there's all that stuff. It's very plain. It's an Ultra Boost Climber. You can kind of tell by looking at it. So very plain. I went all out of my way to get these, and for no real reason. It's basically like those multicolor 3.0s all over again. But they're here now. They're in the collection, and that's pretty cool. And one of these days, I'll wear them. But like the Japanese Fireworks pair, I kind of just forget that I have them. So there is that. But let's see. Let's go ahead and get these back in here. Keep things moving along. But yeah. And since I was able, I had to send some wands, like the Korean money to get those. So in some ways, I did get them for a discount, just because our exchange rate, or with the exchange rate, the dollar was like the better currency. But it happens. Let's see. I don't think I ever saw those. Those are cool. Yeah, they were supposed to have like a wider stateside release in late 2019 or early 2020. I don't know whatever happened with that, but I never saw it happen. So, and then also on the same thing of like bringing back older things, like you were talking about, like older colorways. This being based off of the ZX8000 Aqua. They did a whole pack on these. There were two other ones, but this was the only one that I got. So if you know me, like you know that I was a really big fan of like that Aqua colorway. So I had to have these. And I'm assuming that in my review of either these or my review of the ZXs, I did the comparison. Whichever one came out second is the one that has the comparison in it, because obviously I only had the one when I did the first video. But yeah, this was a must-have for me. I ended up buying them from Packer Shoes. John, he's the guy that was like Predator Minute podcast, or he also does Seen It. He was going to be here with me tonight, doing this whole thing, but didn't work out. But yeah, he emailed me, and I just happened to see that message in the middle of the night. I jumped on the website, bought them, thinking that since they're ready and listed as in stock, they would ship early. No, they just held on to my money and didn't ship them until like a week later when Adidas had them and started shipping theirs. Had I known it was going to play out like that, I would have just waited and bought them from Adidas so I could at least put some dollars towards my little icon status, It's what helps me get those Yeezys and stuff. Which you will see a couple Yeezys in, I don't know, like 10 minutes or something maybe. So there we go, there's that. Go ahead and close this up. So I'm gonna have to tilt some stuff around here because these are now in the way. Move that back over there. Okay, so I'm trying to think of like how I want to do this. Is this thing in the way of this camera? I think it's not. Okay, cool. But real quick, let me make sure I'm not missing anything in the chats here. Let's see. I don't think I ever saw those. The Aqua Ultraboost is stunning. Yeah, man, like that's definitely one of the ones that I really like. So now we're going to get into other Boost models, right? So we're done with all the Ultraboost things. Now it's just other stuff. Well, we do have a couple more, but like in the collaboration section, that's when I'll get back to more Ultraboost. So first but not foremost, this right here, the Adidas Night Jogger. Seemed like it was something that just never really took off. It kind of had like a Nike Runner sort of build, but like a little more durable, But I guess for whatever reason, it just didn't quite catch on. They are really comfortable though. It was the first one where like they had a little bit of a stiffer boost, And they had like the 3M laces. They had like that, what's that, the distressed tongue or deconstructed tongue going on. Some really nice feeling suede down here. It's actually a pretty nice shoe, But I bought this one to see what they were all about. And then I was going to probably just get a better colorway whenever more colors came along. And then they just never did. And so now I only have this one, the Carbon. Let's see. Also, because, the Boost slide, not everybody's favorite thing. And I get it, right? Because they are pricey. And then on the inside here, it's got like that same felt type of material that you have on like the inside of NMDs. So I wear socks with my slides. I've gone over that a few times. So I don't know what this feels like on your feet, but I feel like it might be kind of nice, but at the same time, maybe it's not for everybody. But I do like these. I don't wear them as much as someone might think, because I've got like 12 pairs of slides. So I just kind of usually alternate. But in case you're wondering, today, this week, whatever, I'm going with the Alpha Bounces. So that right there. For the nobody that asked. All right, moving on. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Maybe we can just tilt this a little bit and then bring these a little further into focus. So Looking over here, the Aniki Runner, right? That's what this first one is. This was actually the first one that I bought. It was one of the original colorways. I don't know if anybody out there was an Aniki Runner fan. I know they do kind of have that like sad old man look. They're just like, there's nothing in here like to really hold it up. It's kind of deflated and whatnot. And that used to be a gum bottom, you know, at one point. But these, I got this pair and I was sold. Like, put them on the feet and I was like, okay, instant fan. Like, I ended up buying a couple other pair, you know. I think I only bought, I don't know, I only bought 2 total. But because then they moved on to calling them the 5923s. So it was good, you know, while it lasted, but then they just kind of started doing their own thing. Adidas does that from time to time. I'm not a fan of it. They just kind of get rid of things slowly but surely. So speaking of the 5923 and why I kind of just got away from them, like they started off like the Aniki Runner, right? But then they started messing around with materials. And don't get me wrong, like this has some suede and it's got some really nice leather up here. I don't know if that's really showing up or anything, but like it's got some pretty nice leather going on this shoe itself, right? It's like cloud white and crystal white or whatever they call this. But yeah, so it's kind of got a premium style to it, you know, nice clean outsole there. It's got like the stitching, or it's not the stitching, but like the embroidered tongue there, where it's like they just kind of patched it on into there, you know. So I do like a lot of things that they did with these. That's not going to focus, but whatever. It's just that it's not what I want, right? And at the end of the day, that's what I want, is for them to do what I want. So this one, it was kind of just like a sign of things to come. And now that model is not a thing anymore. And in some ways, I don't care because they wronged me. Let's see. And the store opened back up. I bought a bunch of Anikis for 20. Man, like I would have too. Like if I saw some somewhere, yeah. It's one of those things where like they were everywhere. And so I was like, okay, these will be plentiful. They'll be around. And then they just stopped. This is another one of those situations. I really like this. The EQT, what's this, the 9118? Yeah, the 9118. They also have the 9317, which was, so this is a shoe they released in 18 based off of a shoe from 91. The 1993 version was used for the 2017 release. That's kind of how that went. But this thing right here, like the comfort is crazy. And then they just stopped making them. And I just don't really know what happened. And this is what I was trying to think of when I was talking about those ice cream bar Pumas that I opened up the other day, because they have like that same thicker feeling there. But man, like this was nice, man. Like I wish I had not skipped over this model. I don't know how many of these colors came out, but if they had any other ones, I do kind of wish I had at least another one, you know? But live and learn, you know? And I'm not going to make it sound like these are like regrets or whatever, because the thing is, I still have a lot of stuff, so it's not that serious. I just kind of wish that there weren't as many holes in the collection. But whatever. So this, again, these came out before those, so the order is kind of off here. But the NMD is not something I'm into. They make a lot of good colors, though, and that's when they get bought. So this obviously reminds me of those Aniki runners that I just had out a minute ago. So the Newport colorway, if you want to call them that. So they got the nice knitted upper here, like in that green, then the gum bottom, right? And then like that inner thing, like I was talking about, kind of like the boost slides. So this one is really nice. They also have a navy blue version with the same gum bottom. And that was a hard thing to not buy, because I saw it in a store and it was like one of those impulse things. I'm like, I could buy these right now. These are worth having. But I was like, Tristan, like, when are you going to wear those? When are you going to wear any of this stuff, right? Well, okay, I guess I do wear my shoes to work. That's pretty much where all of them go. But you know what I mean. Let's see, the EQT boosts were their premium line. Was it? I mean, I could kind of see that, because they had that kind of build to them, you know, that it was like a little more meaningful. Now this was probably my favorite version. No, this was my favorite version of the NMD. This is the XR1 PK for Prime Knit. These things feel really good. This thing is not centered. These things feel really good. I bought my mom a pair of these too. My mom's got a pretty nice shoe collection. I just realized that when I was down there like a couple months ago. You know, they got this nice little premium feeling sort of thing at the top as far as like this little suede patch and all that stuff. But it's really just the comfort and the lightweight that gets me on these. Like these things right here, man. What's going on? Oh, okay. Yeah. What I wasn't gonna really buy more of them, but I do really like the way that this model came out. But you know, I don't think they made a lot of those either, as far as colors go. Let's see, trying to keep these things somewhat, because when I go to put all this stuff back, like I have everything like organized in a certain way, that might be a weekend endeavor because I'm not doing it today. Speaking of different versions of NMDs, this is the NMD R1 Trail. You can kind of tell it's got that nice rugged outsole. Makes you stand just a little bit taller. You can kind of see it's a little bit of height there. It's got this nice thing around here because it's made for like trails, like with mud and all that stuff. Pretty durable upper, all that good stuff going on. I mean, overall, it's not an amazing feel, you know, but it's good for what it was made for. I wouldn't wear these as just like a daily walk around shoe because it's a trail shoe and they're just not made for that. They feel a certain way, but it's pretty decent. I would have kind of preferred to get the blue colorway. It was like basically like a navy blue instead of this pink. My thoughts on the upcoming NMD S1. I don't pay attention to the NMD line, so I'm gonna say that I'm guessing I'll not care about it, but I can't say that as a fact or anything because I haven't looked. But yeah, so this right here, there's that. I bought this one was one of those times where like NMDs has always felt big to me. I bought the 9.5, and that thing, my foot was just like swimming in that thing. There was so much room for activities, right? So I gave that pair to my brother. He was a huge fan because, like, for one, his school colors match up with this. He went to USC, and then I bought a 9, and these fit perfectly. So yeah, this was one of those rare times where I like truly recommended going down a half. You know, normally I don't. Normally I'm true to size is pretty good, but every so often this is just not. You know. So there's that. And okay, so this is going to be another trail shoe, but a different model. This is the Terex 2 Ultra Parley. This thing, like, it was largely the visual that got me on these. I was like, man, there's a cool boost midsole right there, you know? It's got all this crap going on. The bottom looks pretty cool as well. So when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of intrigued into this. And I looked further into it. They did actually have 2 models. They had the Ultra, which has the boost, and then they had a standard one, which I don't know what that one has. It wasn't Light Strike. Wade might know. But yeah, they had the other version that was a little cheaper. So I went for this one. You know, it's got the Prime Knit Parley sort of upper going on and the boost. It's a trail shoe, as you can kind of tell, you know. I actually haven't made it out to a trail in these yet, though, because I was going to do a running review, and then it kept raining, and then I just kind of forgot about it. So now that it's on my mind, I might have to keep this box out to the side because I'd really like to know how these perform, you know? I mean, I don't remember anything about them, and that review's got to be at least a year old by now. So I'm going to set those over there so that they don't get tossed by the wayside. And this is, okay, cool. This, Wade remembers these because he's the one who like coerced me into getting them. But no, seriously though, the Retropete E5, I forget what we were talking about. It was when I put up that what shoes should I buy next sort of thing, and side conversation led to these. And these things feel really good. Like, they kind of remind me of the Nike Runner type things, you know, as far as like the structure and all that, but they're more comfortable, you know? So they just felt really good. The one thing that kind of bothers me is like the tongue here, it's a little stiff, and it just kind of kind of like those Ultraboost 6s, just kind of digs into your foot in like a weird way that's not comfortable. So it might just take a little more wear or whatever, but I wasn't thrilled about that piece of it. But otherwise, like this thing is really nice. So I might have to get another pair, like maybe like a darker color or something, as another dedicated concert shoe, because they'd be great for standing around in, you know what I mean? And still having a bit of breathability and protection against, like, you know, all those like drunk people spilling drinks on your shoes, right? So there is that piece of it, and that does matter a bit. Let's see, retro runners with boosts is a win-win. Yes, it is. And you say I have to get a pair of the Terex. Yeah, I mean, I remember liking them. You know what I'm saying? I can't say much past that right now, though. And yeah, but yeah, the NMD S1, I don't know, man. Like if you're online or something on like Instagram or whatever, you can, and if you see a picture, you can tag me in it or something, and then I'll see it, and you know, I'll say what I think. Because like right now, I don't even know where my phone is. It's somewhere around here. So now we've finished that stuff. So up next, we're gonna knock out some boost things, right? I mean, I was looking at the side of the box, so that's why that came out. We're gonna knock out some Yeezy things. So I know not everybody's a huge fan, and I get it, but we're only doing 5 of the 6. 5. Only got 5 over here to go through because my Yeezy collection is not very diverse. It truly isn't. But we're gonna start things off with the first pair that I got, which is the, what do they call this, Oreo or something? I forget what they call this, but this right here is the first 350 that I got, right? So what happened was a friend of mine somehow got through on this size and was going to trade it for his own size, but then got through on another site on his size. So he asked me, he's like, hey, like, do you want these? I know you wear the same size. It's like this 9.5. And I'm like, sure. And he's like, well, okay, so they don't fit quite like other things. So if they don't fit, like, you know, you can just send them back or whatever. Like, and I'm like, all right, sure, cool. So I bought them, put them on. I was cool with the way they fit, and wore these a lot, like a lot, you know? And then seeing how this went was kind of what got me started into buying a lot more of them. At this point, I've probably got like 23. I think I have 23 350s. Have I bought any lately? What's the last 350 release? I don't even know. But I feel like the last time I counted was 23. And I'm trying to, actually, you know what? No, I mean, it might be 24 now because I did get those, what do you call them? The tail lights. So it might be a little bit more now. But yeah, so it was cool, you know, that he was willing to sell those to me for like retail because he could have easily made like a lot of money. When these came out, these were not cheap. And so that's kind of like why I'm the same way now. It's like, yeah, man, like whenever I have an extra of something, if somebody wants it, I charge them what it costs me plus whatever it costs to ship to them. So now I'm gonna do 2 350s only because like I really like the model, but normally I was just kind of going with one of each thing. But I'm gonna do 2 because I figured it made sense to show the first one and it makes sense to show my favorite. This was the first 350 that I ever doubled up on. Pair number 2 is over at my mom's house. You know, this one stays here. So when these came out, like I really wanted them, and then everybody else bought them up because they came out initially in like 17, and then they re-released wider in 18. I won 2 raffles thanks to Foot Locker and Champs or whatever, and got both of them. So now I have 2 pairs of the semi-frozen yellows, and I'm pretty happy about that because I know it's not like a favorite of everybody or probably most people, but that is just the color that really just stands out to me as like the one to get. I mean, I get why a lot of people say it's like the best color is the zebras or the best color is the blue tint or beluga, whatever, you know. I totally understand where people are coming from with that. Even like some of the newer ones, like the Zions or the Carbons or whatever. But for me, semi-frozen yellow all day, no questions. one thing I do question is like this. Like, I want to like this more than I do. The Blue Oat 380, it's just not, I don't know, it's just not the best shoe to me, you know? I wore these like a couple of weeks ago, I think. I don't know, I have to check the archives. But something about it just doesn't feel like something that makes me want more of them. And I've seen people talk about like, well, if you go up half a size, like, they do feel a little better, but at the same time, I don't like going up in size on things because the shoes start to look bulky, yet I remain the same size, and then things just kind of get a little weird. So that's why I'm very inclined not to. And I do like the snug fits, but this one, I don't know. I mean, it could be something to try one day, but I don't know. I don't know. I might just not like the 380, honestly. It happens, right? Sometimes you just don't like stuff. Let's see. And see, Wade's saying I can't do 380s. It's an acquired taste. And then Figurin says Yeezys are fire. You don't need a lot. That is true. I like my slides. Trying to get the linens. Yeah, the linen was a surprisingly nice pair. Like, I don't know why I spoke that out like that, but didn't think it like that. But either way, the linens are a surprisingly nice pair. See, that's a little more naturally speaking. But I don't have one of those. I don't know. I feel like I did. Right? I feel like I did. But yeah, that one, they were doing some pretty good things last year, as far as the 350 colorways. And the Desert Sage also came out around then. And that was one that I was really into. So this is going to be a 700. So this is the Wave Runner, right? Like, they never quite made it to feet because when I did the review, I was very much on the fence about it if I even wanted to keep these. But here they are, the Wave Runner 700. A lot of people are super into this, and I'll tell you, I don't see it. I just don't see it. There's a lot of good quality materials on here. I can't say anything bad about that. I just don't know what it is, like why people are just like constantly claiming that this is like the Yeezy of Yeezys. I mean, if anybody out there in the chat or whatever has their own opinion on these, as you guys have been doing, please share it. But I don't know, like maybe it's part of it is probably just me and my style of like liking more minimalistic shoes or whatever. But something about it. But I don't know. If I ever get them on and stuff, which actually I am gonna try, because like I got another pair through Yeezy Day, so I figure I'll like put these on at some point just to kind of see how they feel. Because I am curious, because there are other 700 V1s that I do like, and if I ever want to get one of those, it's nice to know how they're gonna fit, so I know what to expect. Let's see. Can't do. You can make a pretty penny with them. Yeah, that's why I have like the other pair. Like, because I didn't think that I would win that raffle, but I put in for it anyway, and so things worked out. So that other one will not be staying around. And then this is a V2. Now these are better in my opinion, right? So I like all like the 3M little bits that they have going on. I was on the fence about this cream colorway in general because it looked a little bland in pictures, but up close in hand, I was like, you know what? This is actually pretty nice. It is still like a little bit of a bulky look for me, but I really couldn't complain. So yeah, very, very premium feeling going on like all around. And I actually haven't seen these since a few months ago when I last wore them. Because if you've been following me on like any of the social mediums, like that I kind of keep a pretty good rotation going, which sucks because like again, it'd be nice to wear some of the stuff a little bit more often, but I try to give everything some even attention. I try to, but then I realize like certain things just don't pop up often. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I wore a Jordan 11. I have some. I have like maybe 5 or 6, but I haven't worn a pair in like forever. Let's see. And yes, okay. And White said he's more of a fan of the 700 V2s. Yeah, totally get that. Just gotta move some stuff around real quick. So we're now on the last stack. What time is it? 8:58. So okay, about an hour, because I think I started just after 8 on this. So we're moving along at a pretty good pace. This right here, this is the Ultra Boost. We're in the collab section. This is the Ultra Boost neighborhood Adidas neighborhood Ultra Boost all terrain, right? So it's got this rugged outsole, right? So it's good for like different terrains, but this upper is not at all. It looks cool. I like that little shark tooth thing, or maybe like kind of like Venom, I guess, or maybe like the Max or something. But either way, it's got this tooth thing going on, right? And that's kind of a cool look. It really is. But the thing is, when I bought these, I thought that because I didn't look close enough or into it or whatever. So when I saw Adidas and Neighborhood, I thought like it was the band Neighborhood. Nope, not at all. So, you know, you live, you learn, you move on. Let's set this guy up here. What is that? Some dirt, probably from that shoe. Probably some terrain that I trekked through. What is this? Oh, yeah. This is the... Well, I should probably show you the other one then. I think the other one has a skull on it. So this right here is the Ultra Boost, or Adidas Show Me the Money 8, right? It's got the skull up there. It's a 3M upper, similar to the other thing. Show Me the Money is some kind of like Korean rap battle show or something like that. So I think this was a Korea exclusive. It might have been either that or just didn't get a wide release. But I know they were in Korea for sure. They had this pair and also a white pair. So I picked up this pair, you know, pretty cool with it because I do like 3M things, you know, and that skull at the top is kind of a nice touch. The other one is just like your standard Adidas logo because, you know, that just kind of makes sense. But I want to say I posted some pictures somewhere of these with the 3M going on, so you can kind of see what that looks like. But it's a cool effect. It really is, you know. And let's see, does that even say? Yeah, so like it has like the tag in here. It's all kinds of like Korean gibberish, right? I mean, I can't read it. Like if there's anybody out there that can, like, sure, go for it. But there's that. Go ahead, put these back in here. Keep this train moving. That paper is going to annoy me. I'll fix that later, or I will forget. The sooner I close it, the sooner I can overlook it. We'll set that over here. Up next, not sure what this box is. Oh, okay, I know now. These, I don't think I really showed it other than like the initial unboxing, but the paper on this, it's like plastic, like stiff plastic, but I don't know, it's weird. But this right here, told you there was going to be another Ultra Boost Uncaged coming around, and this is it. It's got like that nice, that's kind of a staple of neighborhood things. I'm not neighborhood, Nature Lab, because that's who they worked with on these. And then on the inside, you've got that same sort of thing going on, right? Very nice. That design goes all the way through to the top of to the tip of the shoe and all that stuff. You got the gum bottom down there. This is organic cotton, and it feels crazy soft. And also you have these stitched on stripes. So that's a pretty cool piece. And it's one of the few Ultra Boosts that actually has like an actual tongue, which somebody pointed out in the comments. I didn't even think anything about it. Yeah, it's not often that you see like an actual tongue on here. Usually it's just like, you know, usually it's just kind of like the tongue area, right? So this one right here, I really wanted these. So I bought them day one through Confirmed, I guess. Probably me and only me. I'm sure they'll be on sale for all kinds of discounts in another month or two. But whatever. Let's see, get that closed down. So I will say one slight advantage to like the YouTube thing to some extent and like buying stuff early is like sometimes if I get something like before I would really want to, like as in before it drops deeper in price, I can sometimes like make enough. What's the front of this thing? I can sometimes make enough money on like the revenue and stuff to make up for that, and then, you know, I'll make like maybe like $30 or something because it's still a small channel, but make like $30 or something. And then I can just kind of feel like I've saved money in a way and maybe help somebody out by like letting them know what they can expect. This right here, right? This is one of the Game of Thrones things, right? You can see Game of Thrones in there. Now, I don't watch this shoe. Excuse me, I don't watch this show at all, but I did like the way it looked, right? It says winter is here on the back. Yeah, it says winter is here on the back. It's got this nice icy sort of thing going on, man. Like I like the little leather tab at the top, There's also like some kind of thing on the back, whatever that means. So, and then it says White Walkers on the lace tips and stuff. It's got some pretty cool detail going on, but ultimately, it's just a cool looking shoe, right? So that's why I have them. Because somebody commented in one of the videos I did, well, you don't watch the show, you're a poser. I'm like, what? Like, you didn't watch the review. Like, I'm making it very clear that I don't know anything about this thing and that I only know that it looks nice. And then, for whatever reason, when I bought my Fire pair from Foot Locker, they sent them in like a normal box, which was weird to me. It had all like normal paper and everything, but I was like, what's going on here? But this one I do really like a lot. Like, what's this? I was gonna buy those uncaged instead of the Parley 6 and didn't end up doing it, and I think I might regret it because of the cage. Adidas has a pretty good return policy. So that's one thing I do stress in a lot of my videos is that don't be afraid to kind of pull the trigger a little early if you've got the money to spare anyway. Because if you don't like something, send it on back, But yeah, personally, like if I had to only choose one, that's an easy choice. I would have gone with the uncaged because, like I said before, I don't know if you've been here the whole time or whatever, but when I was doing my uncaged earlier, yeah, those are my favorite model. But this kind of like the same thing as like that ice pair, But this, it just does a better job with like this is what I like about the Prime Knit, right? Like you can get these kind of fancy designs in there, like if you want to. And so it comes off really cool, And then this says, what is that? Fire and Blood on the back. And then on the inside, it's got like the 3-headed dragon thing. And same thing on the front there. I don't know if this says something. It says House of Targaryen. So yeah, it's a pretty cool looking shoe. It really is. And I never really thought about it before, but the way they did this back piece, it's almost like coal or something, which kind of makes sense with like all the fire. So this is a really, really nice execution on the part of Adidas. All those shoes just kind of like, I think they moved quickly initially, but then they all sat at like normal prices for like probably forever after that. Up next, let's see what's going on here. This one's just a plain looking box, so I can't really see. And it is, wait, what's that? Use Rakuten and look for gift card bonuses. Oh, okay. Yeah, usually I just kind of wait out like those Adidas sales and stuff. But every so often I do just Google search like whatever store discounts or coupons or whatever. This is the, what is this? Nice Kicks, right? Yeah. The Nice Kicks Ultra Boost, right? Had a somewhat gummish bottom, right? I say somewhat because this is actually peanut butter colored and it just isn't quite like your actual gum. But I do like this red thing that they have going on, like the tie-dye swirl. And then you got sort of the same thing on the inside, right? So it's kind of a cool one. This was one that I bought through Confirmed, right? Bought it from there. And I had like the Nice Kicks site up and ready to go in case like I got the thumbs down or the no or however they tell you didn't win. But I did win. So I closed that other tab and eventually these showed up. And they're pretty nice. The upper isn't as nice as like your standard Ultra Boost because it's not like your standard Prime Knit, but it's fine, right? If you're looking for like a casual shoe, I mean, you can't go wrong. But if you're thinking you're going to go and run in these, not a good idea. I did that once with the shoe that we're about to see next, and it was not a good idea, So this right here, you may recognize the box. It's the Woodstock version, the Woodstock Ultra Boost, right? So you got the Woodstock thing up there, also from Nice Kicks. So move those laces out of the way. So, and then you got the two insoles that make like the hand playing the guitar thing. This one's got like the gum bottom, or at least it did in the past, back when these were new. So I do like these. I kind of wish I'd been able to get the black ones as well. But looking at pictures again, like lately, I feel like I don't like the black pair as much as I did initially. And this may actually be the better pair to have. But again, same thing, like the upper on here, because it's just this, it's more like a Presto than a Prime Knit, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of takes some points away from it. Only if you're looking for these to have a certain feel to them. I still can't complain. It's just, you grow to expect certain things from Ultraboost, and they don't always deliver, right? With the collaborations. Though this last one, which is actually the last shoe of the night, so this will give you the full presentation. So there you go, top of the box, all that good stuff for you. Side of the box is, of course. So moving right into this. This apparently came from Sneakers and Stuff, right? According to this little thing in here. This is the 424 AFC Ultraboost 21. This is a very nice creation, man. This black and red. I don't have a lot of black and red shoes, so when I saw this one, I was happy to add it to the collection. So, and then down in there, kind of got like a nice little design on the insole and all that stuff. Got like the AFC thing towards the back, 424, Adidas, right? I don't follow soccer in any way, right? But I like these. I also don't know what 424 is, honestly. But again, I like these. They've got a nice little design here on the cage, which isn't really showing up, and that's kind of a translucent thing because it's got like a layer over it, but the design is actually behind that. Then you got like this glossy piece going on for like where the heel area is. And it's an Ultraboost 21. So you get the collab thing, which is always kind of cool. It's got the black and red thing, which is a solid color combination. And it's going to be super comfortable because the Ultraboost 21 is super comfortable, right? So this was definitely one of the better collaborations overall, just because it's like, to me, a total package. It's not just get by on the name or anything like that. I've seen like people liked these in like the comments and stuff just because it's a cool looking shoe, So it's good when something can transcend like, oh, there's whatever name attached to it. Like before this, we did the Yeezys, and those have a name attached to them. So then we moved into something that has a different name attached to it, which sometimes kind of has to work a little harder. Oh, okay. For a second, I thought I forgot to bring some shoes over here. I was thinking about those Packer ones, but those are 4Ds. So, and we're only doing Boost today. And there we go. We've done it. That's, if anybody was counting, I wasn't. But what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. 44 shoes we went through tonight. 45, excuse me. So that's a fair amount, right? But it's enough, because I only wanted to cover like one from each model for the most part. And then the different variations. The only switch up being that I showed two 2.0s because my first ever pair was a 2.0, and I showed two 350s. But it made sense at the time, and it still makes sense right now. Let's see what these comments are looking like. Yeah, Ultraboost 21 Arsenal is hands down my favorite, even though I'm not an Arsenal fan. Yeah, like I had to look up what AFC even stood for when I was getting those. 424s. Oh yeah, I mean, I know it's the name of a brand. Like, come on. But I'm saying I'm not familiar with anything that brand has done or will do in the future. So, but I also don't really care. Like, I mean, if it comes out that they're like bad people or something, then maybe I'll feel a certain way about it. But yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna go with it. I mean, I think everybody's bad in some ways, right? Isn't that the whole thing? No one's like 100% good. But overall, though, like, yeah, so we did it. We went through all these things, just over an hour. I wasn't setting a specific time limit or anything on here. but it's it's a fair amount to go through, and I didn't want to drag it all out, you know, which is also why I didn't do like the full collection. If you would like to see my full Ultra Boost collection, I did that last year. It was just about exactly a year ago. It's broken up into 3 videos. So there's the like the there's like the random boost shoes, kind of like NMDs and stuff like that. Then there's like the Yeezys, I think, and then I might have finished things off with like the Ultra Boost. Either way, there I cover everything. And since then, since September of last year, yeah, I've bought some other shoes, but I outside of the 350s, I've pretty much covered everything here, I think, that I bought since then. Right? Yeah, I have. I did. So, well, no, I take that back because I didn't talk about my black 21s. Yeah, I didn't talk about my black 21. So I think that's the only thing that is missing from those videos. So if you want to see everything else, again, that playlist, you can just watch that, or you can pick whichever chapter of it you want to see. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's see, Boost is life, keep it up. Yeah, man, I do like the Boost stuff. You know, I mean, I feel like that kind of was said already, given that I just spent an hour going through. I'd say this is somewhere between, I don't know, it's probably around a third of the collection altogether. Because again, like I've got a lot of 350s, and that skews the results. Actually, you know what? There are more Ultra Boosts over there than I thought, because a lot of them are Boosts over there because a lot of them aren't in boxes and are on that shelf. So, this may be even less than 30%. I don't know. I'm not doing the math, but I covered a lot. I covered enough to give you a good idea. You know what I'm saying? But that being that, I think we're good. I mean, unless anybody has anything on their mind, any questions you want to throw out there or whatever, I'll, do that, because this is a live setting and I've done like the thing that I sat down here to do. So I have yeah, there's a fair amount, I think if I unplug this thing, the connection might die or something. Otherwise, I would definitely go over there and show that. But that'll have to be an Instagram thing anyway, because then I can be more mobile and because I'm using the phone or whatever. But some other time, maybe over the weekend, if I'm not doing anything, maybe then I'll do other stuff of the collection and let people, if they want to point out something and see it, maybe I'll do that. But for now, it's too cumbersome to walk around with a laptop and trying to show all this other crap. Let's see. A lot of good pairs. Always learn a lot watching your Adidas video. Yeah, I try to add some kind of value into those videos, because to me, that's the whole thing that makes them worth watching, right? Because I've seen some videos in the past, and maybe even we'll see some in the future, where people just pick up something like, oh yeah, man, these are cool, man. They got this black and this red, super comfortable. I really like these. And they just kind of repeat that over and over in different ways for the next like 6 minutes and then call it a day, right? It's nice because the video is short, but it's also like uninformative and ultimately not super helpful. So I know my videos run pretty long sometimes. The video that I recorded today, like it was a Gel Light 3 video. It went like 18 minutes almost. So just know that that's coming around. But yeah, so I know the videos that I make can be like somewhat lengthy, but I do try to at least make sure there's some sort of substance in there. So if you watch the full thing, you'll walk away having taken something out of it, maybe some things out of it. So, because again, like giving people something to actually like think about before they buy these things, if there's something good about it, if there's something bad about it, like there are shoes that I like, but I'll let you know the bad sides to them too, because not everything is like totally good. I mean, every so often, like I don't have any complaints about this really, other than the fact that it may not be the best thing to wear if it's warm out because they're super thick. But I'll point that out because it's worth knowing. I don't want you to just go buy it and think it's going to feel like a standard Ultra Boost. Let's see. You say you can't watch bigger YouTubers because it seems like an ad. Yeah, like some people are too deep into like the commercial side of this, like commercializing like the making money, and then the commercializing just like trying to sell you on things. And I that's why I treat these videos like I'm just sitting down to just talk to somebody and tell them like, hey, check out this thing I got. Like it's kind of cool, man. Like, you know, it's got this going on. It's kind of comfortable, but like this part kind of sucks. And you know, here's how they look on my feet. And then you do whatever you want to with that, you know? Like the bigger I used to watch some bigger YouTubers, like I think everybody did, right? Like when I first got into this, well, excuse me, before I got into this, I would watch Seth Fowler and what's his name, Fomer Simpson, and to some extent like Mike Rich too, you know. And I think there were a couple other people, but some of them I stopped watching for reasons like you just said because I couldn't identify with them. You know, it's easier to watch somebody like that you can relate to, and I couldn't relate to a lot of them. And then with certain people, like I had nothing against like some of those names, but as I started to get into doing this for myself, a lot of my time became eaten up by watching other people that are doing this same thing. So I could go watch some like Mike Rich video or whatever, or I can catch up on whatever Homegrown Kicks has been putting up. I'm going to take option B because I know him. He's a friend of mine, right? Mike Rich is a dude that kind of, you know, he's entertaining, right? I got nothing against him, but I gotta pick and choose what I do with my time because I don't know about you guys, but I only have 24 hours in a day, and I gotta make sure it's not like I don't want to say wasted, but I want to make sure it's used in the best way, you know. Let's see. Wait, and he says, I feel you. It's like the videos already have ads. No need to be an ad. Exactly. Like, and I know, like, I have I have ads in my videos. Like, they're what is it? They are right before the review starts, right before the personal thoughts, and right before the on foot. Like those are like when you see me like make those when I like, pause for something, that's just to give me a little spot where I can slip the ad in there, right? I don't think everybody sees all of them because YouTube doesn't show every slot of ads to every person. You might watch one and see none. Even like I know Homegrown doesn't count because he's got the YouTube Premium, but that's how I structure it, right? Because I feel like if I leave it to YouTube, and I've done that before, it was like a 10, 12-minute video, and I left the option on to like automatically place the ads. There were like ads like every 2 minutes. I was like, do people actually do this? Like, is that a real thing? Because that seems excessive. So so I just put like the 3 slots for ads and call it a day. Unless it's like a collection video or something, or like my quarterly pickups, then I think I do it like per row or something. Either way, I try not to be overboard with it because who wants to see a bunch of ads, right? I think I don't see any, but I've heard that some of them are long, and that just sounds awful. But yeah, yeah, YouTube's a weird thing, man. And like in some ways, because of like my views, like I'm not always the best, you know, YouTube guy. I like to like make money out of this or whatever, but I get enough views that YouTube does send me a little bit of a check every month, so I do like that. And that's all that I really care for. Well, not the money, but the people that watch the videos and stuff, that's all that really matters ultimately. Because if I can sit here, do a live, and have like 7 or 8 people in here, and I can follow the chat, and like nothing's too like, you know, scrolling by too fast or whatever, that's cool. That's what I ideally would like. When I see the other people and they've got like 800 people in the live, and it's like you can't focus on any of this. And then I see what people are saying. A lot of it's just like garbage. I'm like, yeah, I'd rather sit here and just talk to a few people and just have like a more like small conversation, you know. It's just easier for me. But I'm also not a super social person anyway, so there is that aspect of it. But all in all, you know, I feel like I've rambled a lot more than people probably care to hear, but sometimes in settings like this, it makes more sense than in the videos, kind of like, you know, I do sometimes. But but sometimes people do want to hear that stuff. So either way, they got the shorts now, which actually some of those are, I think one of those is scheduled to go up in like 7 minutes here. But again, so to anybody out there like that is still watching, if you have any questions or anything, or if you want to see something specifically or hear some thoughts a little deeper into anything, go ahead, throw those questions out there. You know, I'm here for you guys, right? I mean, I've done everything I need to do today. So at this point, I'm good. I can sit here for the next 10 minutes. I can sit here for the next 2 hours, right? It's just kind of up to what the room wants to do. And I'm not really seeing a whole lot of movement over here on the chat side. So, I mean, if you guys are done, if you're like done listening to me or whatever, let me know, say bye or something. And definitely Wade Count, dude, I truly appreciate the donation thing. I keep forgetting to click and pin things because I know that like there's a lot of people that like constantly just like, hey, send me money so I can do this. Like, what? So that's why the reason I don't ask for anything is because it's like it feels weird, right? To say like, hey, like give me money. Like I'm just here trying to like, you know, talk to everybody, right? But let's see. Can we get a hint at the next pickup coming in? Honestly, no, because there's nothing coming in. But I'll show you the review that's gonna go up. Well, hold on. When is it gonna go up? Because I still have a Yeezy slide video that I need to edit, and the video from today that I need to edit. But give me a second. I'll find where are those? You know, I record stuff and then I throw things aside. There we go. Yeah, so again, seriously though, I do appreciate you sending the donation my way and all that. Let's see. So the next thing that's going to be coming up online would be this right here. Obviously, this is the same shoe. One is a 7, one is a 9.5. This is the Gel Light 3 Sunflower, right? So I picked up a pair for me. Mom, she's into Sunflower, so I thought she'd like a pair too. She also doesn't have any Gel Light 3s yet, so I kind of had to deal with that, right? You know, I don't like her having holes in the collection. Dad loves his, right? So now they can both have a pair. But so I'll give you a short version of the review. Typical stuff down there, nothing too crazy. Moving on, same thing. The midsole, here's this nice foam stuff, you know, almost like you might see on like the Huaraches, the Prestos, things like that, because this is a 30-year-old shoe. Got some nice suede down here around the toe box, which kind of just extends all throughout the rest of everything back to here. Got the little Gel Light 3, not stitched in, but kind of indented into the side, whatever the word is for that. Moving back over here, you know, got a nice little leather swoosh. I keep saying swoosh. Leather, what do you call the Asics logo? Is there a word for that? You got the Asics logo in there. It's kind of like a grayish leather, right? So there's that. Then above that, you got the same feeling material. It does feel a little bit better to me, like on the upper area than it does on some of the lower areas. But that could just be, you know, just difference from pair to pair. I don't know. And then one thing that is kind of nice, when the light hits it a certain way, it does kind of have like a little bit of a shine to it on the inside. It's not satin or anything. It just kind of almost puts off that vibe. But I do like it. And then, you know, same typical things down on the inside, right? Nothing too crazy. But overall, bring this back just so you can get a good look at the overall shoe. This thing is really nice in my opinion. And I kind of had to pull the trigger a little early because the sizes around my size started to sell out. Even with Mom's, like this 7, it was gone. Like, and then I checked the site one day and they had a pair. So I bought it. And then after I checked out and like went back to the site, it said sold out. So I was thinking that maybe it was an error, but apparently I just bought the last one that they had in stock. So I got really lucky there, which means that the 7.5 that I had bought for, so I was going to tell her like, they may fit a little loose, but you can just put some thicker socks on, be fine. But now I can send that 7.5 back and just give her these. And the other cool thing is that since this was the same shoe, it wasn't like grade school or anything, they both have this exact same level of quality, which is good because for $120, you want, since they're both 120, you want them to be the same, but you get to the point where you kind of understand why they aren't always equal. Hey, broski, what's going on? Oh wait, hold on, I missed some other messages. Let's see. But yeah, these homegrown, you might want to check. I think Packer shoes. I think they still have these in stock, and maybe Foot Locker or Champs. One of those. Not all of those sites under like the East Bay umbrella sell the same things. Like some sell Vans, some don't. Some sell Asics, some don't. But because I think you're like I want to say like over 9.5. I think those were sold out on Asics, and you're like a 10.5, right? But and Way says he just bought the. Yeah, so I'm thinking about going back and buying. If you click on this one on the website, there's also the Beat colorway. That one's still fully stocked, but I might go back for that one later. And I think it's called. Oh, okay, yeah, you know what? It could be. It's like a weird thing to call that, but it wouldn't make sense, It's kind of like I can't think of like, because the Reebok has a name for their logo also, but I can't think of the name of it. But Life of a Broski, what's going on, man? How's everything going on out in the UK? Hopefully things are going well. I was talking to Aiden, ACS Sneakers, the other day. Just kind of talking about some stuff over there. I didn't realize like all the extra fees that they threw on you guys, making it so hard to get like shoes into the country nowadays from like outside the country. So that sucks a lot. And he says, yeah, I'm a 10. Okay, I was thinking 10, but something told me like maybe there's like maybe he had something in a 10.5 too or something. But yeah, so and with the way that split tongue is, some people do like to go up half a size just so that they can make sure it closes all the way like that, And I totally get it, But ultimately, to me, these have an Air Max 90 fit. So if you have any of those, you probably go with the same size that you bought in that. Hey, Amy75, what's going on? Welcome. Appreciate you stopping in. So you can't really see it because it's kind of done now, but actually if I pick this thing up. So I was going through like the Boost shoes, right? There's some over here, right? And there's some over here that you can't really see. Yeah, I did a good chunk of my Boost collection. I did 45, right? And there's probably like a good 40 something over there, and then probably good 20 still in there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a good chunk, Okay, so East Bay has them. All right, cool. So there you go, 25% off of 120. I can't do that math. I don't know what that is, but it's under 120. And honestly, for the quality of these Gel Light 3s, I think they're worth 120. Honestly, I just don't pay 120 because, again, if I can get something for under retail, that's what I'm gonna do. It's just so much. It's just so much better. Especially if you're gonna like buy more than one, which was the case here. Like if I was paying retail for everything, I would certainly have fewer shoes. That is a fact, like a straight up fact. I mean, some things I just bite the bullet on, but some of this stuff, man. But yeah, and that's the thing I need to do soon. I need to check back in the olden days when I was getting into things, like up until 2020, honestly, when like store inventories went to crap, I used to like make it like not daily, but probably like a weekly routine. I'd go to like all the sites that I shopped with, like Foot Locker, Foot Action, Finish Line, all the sites, just kind of looking and seeing what they had in sale, or excuse me, what they had on sale in my size, and just scrolling through there, because you can usually stack discounts on top of whatever's already on sale. So I was doing that, and that's kind of where a lot of my stuff came from. So like like all those Air Maxes and stuff, like that's kind of how I got them, is just browsing through things. Like when Nike would send out like, hey, we're having a sale, it's like, all right, let me go see what's
what's going on, or if there's even, or if all it is just like a coupon code. Again, you go and you just look for, okay, what's on sale so that I can make it even more of a sale. Because shoes are expensive, man. Like, this I paid full price for, sure, but my hands are kind of tied. They're probably under retail now, but 180, I think 180 is Ultraboost price, which isn't, again, it's not terrible when I consider the fact that I get so many things cheaper, but oh man, it's kind of rough. It is. But if you're a smart shopper, then and that just kind of comes with time, and like the other thing being, like, you keep up with like the style codes and stuff. So like up here on the side, right, like the reason I put those in the videos is so people can like look. That is not focusing at all, but the reason I put those style codes in the videos is so, or at least in the descriptions that nobody reads, is so that they can search for them, so they can find them somewhere like easily if they truly like it. Because searching black red Ultra Boost is probably going to pull up a few things, right? And not necessarily what you want. Let's see. Did you enter a raffle for the Jordan 13 Obsidian? I entered a raffle for it. I don't want it, but so obviously I won, right? Because that's how that works. So I won from Finish Line for a size 9, and so then I confirmed it, and then I asked JJ all day. I'm like, hey, you're a size 9. Do you want these? And he was like, then he responded with a picture of him also winning them. So I was like, oh, because I knew he was the same size and might be into them. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with those. They look decent. I'll pick them up. I'll do the review, and I don't know. I have no idea what I'm gonna do from there. So, looking back at it, like, had I known they were gonna be that easy to get, I probably would have went for like a 9.5, so that way I could at least just give them to my brother. But I can maybe, I don't know, I can do a giveaway or something. I haven't done one. No, I just did a giveaway. I just did one, like, and like Wade County was like one of the winners. Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago. Gave out $100. Well, between like 5 people, so it was like 20 per person. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure that out later. Let's see. That's how I found your channel. Well, yeah, and that is a cool thing. And I often get curious how people find the channel. Like, I know how Homegrown Kicks found it, I think, because I found his, but there is that. You didn't win on Finish Line, but you did win at Hibbett. Hibbett has never let me win anything. Let's see. When sneakers go on sale, I'd assume you get an extra bump in views. Yes, I do. So, and sometimes it's like substantial too. Like, because something will sit stagnant, like the React Vision, right? I don't know that I can claim that I was the only person out there with one, but I was an early adopter. I can at least say that. And that React Vision, the Desert Oasis colorway, I put it out there, had some views the first day, because like there's always some people that just watch the views out of a courtesy, or watch the videos out of a courtesy. And then you have that initial spike, and then it drops back down to normal standards. And then it just kind of hung out here, and then all of a sudden it just skyrocketed, because when people go to like Nike and they see it on clearance for 100, they're like, oh, maybe this is a good shoe. And then I get the views. So it's cool, Tip for Homegrown Kicks out there. What I would highly suggest you do is, since you buy a lot of Nikes, a lot of Jordans, start going to the Nike site and fill in the reviews on there, but tag your stuff, use your pictures, use your thumbnails, all that crap. So that way you can kind of promote yourself on the Nike site, right? Which gets a fair amount of traffic. So just something to consider. I was doing that like a while ago, and then I just kind of stopped caring to put the effort in. But it can be a thing that's helpful for getting your name out there. Let's see. Also, same to you, Wise Soul. If you were here when I said that, do the same thing. Leave reviews on the Nike site. They let you put I think they let you put videos. I think they let you link videos, or like add like multiple pictures. So take advantage of the things given to you, so that way you can get your content out there and as many eyes as you care to get it in front of, at least potentially. Let's see. 3 of my pickups came in that I need to do a review on, but my week has gone from bad to catastrophic. So I'm trying to find the push to do them. Yeah, well, I'm curious to hear more about that. If you care to elaborate outside of this or on here or whatever, I am curious what's going on with that. But believe me, I totally know about the whole push to get things through, because there are the times when I don't feel like doing reviews, but I do them because it's like, if I don't, like, they get backed up, and then I don't want to deal with like another August situation. But usually, like, it's not like a personal like depression thing or anything like that. It's just like I just feel like watching Transformers instead, So, which I'm done with. The War on Cybertron, I finished the first 3 chapters or whatever. So now I get to wait a while and see what happens with the whole Unicron situation. Off the Hook, what's going on? Appreciate you stopping in as well. But yeah, so I totally understand, like, and then even for me, right, like, things are like showing up. I forget what day it was, but like, it was like I did a review, and then as soon as I finished, I think I did like 2 or 3, because I usually record in groups, like 2 or 3 at a time. And I finished, I think I recorded, got all my pictures together, got all my on feeds together, and then then I'm like, great. And I open the door, and then there's a box from whatever shoe or whatever store. I'm like, oh man, forgot about that. So yeah, it's like my own doing. So it's not like I can sit here and complain about it. And it's not like a problem. It's nice to be, and I'm sure you'd agree, anybody would agree, it's nice to be in a position where you're able to even buy these things. So you don't want to complain like, oh man, I keep buying shoes, it's so hard to keep up. Like, it's stupid to do that, right? But at the same time, you're like, man, like, you're kind of doing it to yourself. So you're like, I need to slow down. But sometimes you need to buy stuff as soon as it's there, or you lose your opportunity, which is why I'm now literally surrounded by shoes. And that's like this one. Like, I should have just, like, it was my gut instinct to just buy these as soon as I saw them for my mom. But I was like, oh, and you know what? No one's buying Gelite 3s like that. It's like the same thing I do with Hirachis. I can wait. And then like the next day they were all gone. And I was just like, man, why is this happening right now? Her birthday's coming up. I'm trying to like get this out there because I'm thinking like that'll be like the gift to go with right now. Let's see. Yeah, I've had days where I say I love doing reviews, but I need some me time. Yeah, it's like doing the reviews for me, it's cool, right? But if you break down, now even for me, like, I'm in a pretty good groove when it comes to like doing things like the steps I go through to add the actual presentation to my reviews or whatever. Yeah, I can do that fairly quickly considering what goes into it. If I told, let's say, like, if I told like 2019 me to do that, back when all I did was hit record, talk, hit stop, post, move on. If I say, hey, make a video in this format, it'd be like a day-long adventure, But now I'm good at it, but it's still time consuming. I did that video last year about like how I actually make my videos from like start to finish. Yeah, like it can be from the time I like set up the camera and the lights to the time that I am publishing the video. It can be like several hours for one, you know what I'm saying? For one like 12-minute rambling recording about a shoe. It's pretty crazy. It really is. But honestly though, like, even though that video didn't do very well, because why would it? It's more for like informational, educational purposes. But that was probably one of my favorite videos that I've done, actually. So I'd like to recommend that to more people, but there's no reason for anybody else to watch it unless you're like making videos of your own. Let's see. The New Balance 992 is the greatest shoe ever made, just my opinion. Is that what I had on? What did I have on the other day? I don't remember if that's a 992 or not. Because I know I had on one of my made in the UK New Balances, but I can't remember if it was a 992. Like, it's because I'm bad with like New Balance models, like very bad, honestly. So now I'm curious though, so I'm gonna look that up real quick, which is why I'm pulling out the phone. Oh boy, I spelled that all wrong. Let's see, was it? Yeah, that was a 920. Okay. Not a 992. Wait, no, excuse me. Where is that then? Not seen. So that's the okay, yeah. So it was a 920, excuse me. And then the other one was a 575. So yeah, I did a 920, not a 992. But I do like those. I'd like to get more into the New Balances and like get a better understanding of like the different models and all that stuff. There is a bit of a price for entry into that world though, because as you know, those made in the UK ones are the ways to go in a lot of cases. They just aren't always that cheap, but they shouldn't be because it's like super high quality, right? So it's kind of like, what do you want to do? Let's see. Bro, I recently sold off my sneakers, only sticking with Vans slip-on for casual and keeping 2 pairs of Jordans. Got too addicting and costly as a college student. Oh yeah, I can. That does not seem like a college thing to do, you know? Like, I mean, I'm fairly lucky in my situation here that I'm like not in school. Actually, you know what? I am in school. It's online school. I need to stop forgetting to do my school stuff. Either way, I'm ahead, so it's okay, right? But either way, where I was going with that, like, yes, if you're paying for college, if you're focusing all your attention on that, if you happen to have a job while you're in it, the shoe thing, definitely not something to do, right? Because you're not even going to really have a lot of time to wear them. But for me, being a guy that just, I go to work, I go to the gym, I go to concerts, I've got like a lot of free time. It's just me, you know, I don't have like kids or anything like that. So if I need to set aside 6 hours to like do a Gel Light 3 review, I can just do that and it doesn't affect anybody. If I go and buy an extra pair of 350s, you know, put it in multiple raffles just to make sure I get them, that's not taking money or food out of anyone's mouth or anything. It's okay. So one day you'll get to that point, if you care to get to that point, where you're able to just buy the stuff. I'm sure you'll get to the point of being in the position where you can, but if you get yourself into like actually doing it, that's kind of your own choice. But I'm sure you'll get there. No doubts. Let's see, I'm just cleaning my sneakers and listening to this live. Hey, you know, man, that's a thing I haven't done in a long time. Back when I lived in the foreign land, I was all about cleaning these shoes because the bottoms would look horrendous, you know? Let's see, Homegrown saying, I love Vans, but it seems like the rest of the world doesn't share the same opinion. It depends on where you're looking in the world. Like the people that I see around me, huge Vans people, right? Because it's, again, like the concert crowd, like the hipster crowd or whatever. You know, the Vans are super common. But when I look at like certain demographics of like the shoe community, like I post a picture of a pair of Vans, nothing. I post a possibly funny video along with it, nothing. Nobody cares. I post a poorly shot picture of a Jordan, was that Obsidian UNC? Everybody comes out of the woodwork. So, oh my God, it's a Jordan 1. It's like, yeah, like you haven't seen a million today. And people are just all over it. It's crazy, you know? Let's see. What's good, people? What I meant so far. Yeah, and wait, can I talk about the New Balance money? Yeah. Jeezy, what you missed is that I went through a whole bunch of of boost-related shoes. A good 45 pair. Like I did the little count earlier. So I was just kind of showing off because today, exactly 5 years ago, I made my first Ultraboost purchase. So I thought, let's go ahead and commemorate the moment by going through a large chunk of my collection. So I did. Let's see. I came to realize the outfit makes the fit and not only the shoes. I dress like a child who got dressed in the dark sometimes. So the outfit portion for me is like whatever. Sometimes I get lucky and it's like, hey, this shirt matches these shoes. And sometimes it will be on purpose, but lots of the times, like I think I was getting dressed for work today and it's like these pants are close to me. This shirt is also close to me. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's see. And then he said, that's true. Has anyone seen the Travis Scott Air Max ones? Well, I have no idea. I don't follow him or his shoes. And he says to Yeezy, what's going on? Went through a lot of Adidas and sharing knowledge. Yeah, and doing some like rambling about the state of YouTube and state of me. Let's see. Vans are overly popular everywhere in NYC. Before they were just for white kids. Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. Vans are a staple. I would never want Vans to get Nike level. Yeah, because the thing is, like, to the people that are trying to get something that they can just throw on, wear into the ground, and replace easily, the Vans is the way to go. Also, like, if you, let's say you like the old school, right? And you find you a nice black pair, and you're like, man, this is the best shoe ever. When that shoe gets run into the ground, you can just buy it again, right? It's not like a Ridge Rock Air Max 1. It's not like, oh, I really like this Ridge Rock 1. And if you run those into the ground, that's it. You have to find a new color to like. So I do really like that about the Van situation, where they're just out there ready to be bought at a moment's notice. Sure, they do have their collabs. I have 2 collabs. I mean, if you count the Waldo version or the Waldo release and that Chris Johansson one. That Chris Johansson EXO Ultra Range EXO, that thing is freaking amazing. You know, like because it's got like the comfy cush on there, or the Ultra Cush, or whatever they call it. It's got a really nice upper to it. That is a nice freaking Vans, man. If you haven't seen the review, like you can go back and watch it to see what I'm talking about or whatever, or you can just type in Ultra Range EXO, EXO. Yeah, those are nice. Let's see. Joe Cool Sneaker Lover has a review coming of them. Not a fan, but others might like them. Yeah, that's me on like almost every release. Like so many. Like when I do my like recaps of like the shoes of the month that came out, it's generally just like me talking about stuff I don't like for an hour. And then there'll be like one thing in there that I'm okay with. Let's see. Joe Cool New York kids got hip to the Cali vibes. Let's see. Got popular here in the late 2000s. In the mid 2000s, Vans were strictly white. I'm guessing that's supposed to say boys or something. But yeah. I do see a lot of Vans, especially like when I think back to Warped Tour. And in a way, that makes sense because it is, Vans Warped Tour, right? But again, it's just something that it's cheap. And if you're not looking for like super comfort, I've spoiled myself over the years. So when I put something on that isn't very comfortable, it's like my feet are just like, so you're just trying these on, we're just doing the on foot, right? And then where you can put on something else. Like this week, what's my theme been? I've been doing themed shoes for the month. So I think this week was Boost, right? Yeah. This week has been Boost. So this week has been all comfort, I think, what was last week? Oh, last week was material stuff, right? Like shoes that had like nice materials. Every so often, just to kind of like put an extra layer of thought onto like what shoes I'm wearing, I'll do little themes for the week. Just it amuses me, That's pretty much all it's there for. Sometimes people catch on with, you've been wearing a lot of Jordan 1s lately. Like, oh yeah, I have. Not to draw attention to it. Let's see. Where were we? Right there. The white Air Force One was like that, and now unfortunately they're being sold out due to TikTok and resellers. Homegrown Kicks is an advocate of the white Air Force One, if I recall correctly. Let's see. To me, the CDG Vans and CDG Chuck Taylor 70s are timeless modern classics. I can't vouch for that, but I'm sure they are. Though you say that, and it kind of makes me think like I should jump online and order a new Cortez at some point, because it's been since 2008 that I've had a pair, I think. And I probably wouldn't like them as much as I did then because my standards were lower at that time. But something about the Cortez, it was just kind of a cool shoe. I was so excited about finding another pair of my Vans I beat and a discount for $40. Oh, and at a discount, I was about to say a $40 discount. They were practically free then, right? Let's see. And then I worn and loved the CDG before the hype because of Japan influencing their fashion. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like me living kind of under a rock definitely helps with like not being influenced by things. I mean, I'm already like very much like it's like an intrinsic sort of thing when it comes to like what motivates me to buy stuff, because I just don't pay attention to anything, you know? Like when I see people wearing shoes, it's like it's often like on wrestling because there are certain wrestlers that will wear some pretty cool shoes or whatever, like things that are popular and all that stuff. But I don't know what's going on with fashion in any way. Speaking as a YouTube dude, like I do a terrible job of following like what shoes are even releasing. I usually do okay with Adidas, but that's only because like they target me. They're probably because like they know that I'm good for giving them a bunch of money. But otherwise, I'm just like often in the dark. But that's kind of a good thing because if I knew about more stuff, I'd probably try to buy more stuff. Like with Wade, like he's turned me on to like a couple things, like those Retropy E5s, which where is that? Like I feel like those should be in this stack. Yeah. Those Retropy E5s, those were really nice. Like, I mean, I don't want to oversell it because like I try to be careful about that. But if you're just looking for like something nice to just throw on or whatever, this thing right here, man, I can't vouch for like the durability or whatever. I feel like it's kind of not really there. But this is going to be a nice, comfortable shoe to walk around in all day, like no question. It does feel a little weird at first just because the way the outsole is kind of has like that trail sort of vibe. So like when you're walking, it kind of has an odd take to it. But after that, like, and after this tongue gets kind of broken in or whatever, yeah, these are nice. So I'm gonna have to see what other colorways are out there and watch for them because I wouldn't mind another pair, like I said, for concerts and stuff. They seem like a perfect fit for that. Let's see, where was I? First felt like an Asian chick wearing the CDG Chuck 70, but then I noticed the effortless indie swag they provided. They give outfit an automatic emerald band. Oh, okay. Actually, I somewhat get that reference. I used to see a lot of like people wearing those. It's like the Fila, was it like Disruptor or something? Some weird word. Either way, it was an awful looking shoe, but it was super popular, at least in 2019. But hopefully that's died off because, I mean, I didn't like it. But I also haven't seen any lately. Though around here, I don't know that I've really been out a whole lot because, like I don't go anywhere. When I'm at shows, it's like it's dark and you don't really notice anything anyway. But let's see, let's go ahead and close out of that thing. But so what else is going on, people? Because like I said, otherwise I'll go ahead and get things wrapped up. But if you guys got any more questions or you want to hear my thoughts on things or whatever, share an interesting anecdote. Maybe you got a joke or a story. We can do that. But otherwise, if not, like, let's see. Okay, luckily tomorrow's Friday, so I'll probably edit that 350 or edit that slide video tomorrow. Get the pictures in. I'll probably do the video for these will probably be. That's sounding like a Saturday thing because I don't think I'm going to be doing anything else this weekend. And then is it the end of no, it's not the end of the month. Coming up at the beginning of the month, because it is going to be the first of the next quarter. That means I'll be doing my quarterly pickup video. So I want to say my last quarterly video for the second quarter, I think I had 27 shoes altogether, which is actually wrong I just forgot to show some things. So I had bought some Asics running shoes, like some Nimbuses and Cumuluses. Forgot to show those off. And then if you take away the pairs that weren't for me, actually, you know what? We're probably still at the same number. So I always get curious, like how many pairs I bought, and then I like doing those because I can kind of look back and see what I did. And so, homegrown kicks, I'm gonna challenge you because that's the thing you people used to do in the YouTube world. It hasn't happened in a while. But homegrown kicks, I'm gonna call you out on once this new quarter rolls around. I want to see your quarterly pickup video for whatever you picked up between was it July, August, and September. So do that. Otherwise, the shoe gods will be angry, and that'll be unfortunate for you. Let's see. I need those IE. Oh, those IE 11. I saw those. I haven't bought a pair of 11s in a while, and I haven't worn a pair in even longer, right? Because I don't even. Yeah, because like the last two 11s that I bought, I didn't even do on feet videos for. I don't think. Did I? I feel like I didn't, honestly. And that would have been the Breads and the Concords. Because I'm very sure the last time I wore a pair of 11s was like the middle of 2018 or something. I got nothing against them. I got a few pair. I just don't wear them. Let's see. Gel Light 3 versus Gel Light 5. I don't know. I don't have any 5s. Let's see. So I'm going to side with the 3 by default, I guess. Just grateful that you go live here and there. It's nice. It is nice. It is a small community where we can have small talk. I quit being a hype beast 2 years ago and wear what I like. Don't care about branding anymore. And yeah, that's the same thing I was just saying before. Like, I know there's other people who like will do the lives and like I get why people want large audiences, right? From their perspective, I don't, right? So when I do mine, like that's why I don't really promote the lives a whole lot, I think I threw some extra tags in here that I normally wouldn't, but if I didn't make a hugely attractive thumbnail. The title for this was like boost things, right? What is that, right? So, but the thing is, what I like is that, again, I noticed this on like a couple unboxings that I was doing like around this time frame. I can sit on here, I can do these, and I'll get like a good like maybe like 7 or 8 people might show up, and like we can just kind of sit here and we can have some conversations back and forth. I can see a question, I can talk about it for a little while, and when I'm done talking about it, it's not like way scrolled off the screen. I can just move to the next one. So yeah, I'm a huge small community kind of guy. It's just so much easier. Let's see. The 5s are slightly comfier, but the 3s are nicer looking. Sometimes that is the trade-off. And I was just talking about that today with what was I talking about? I made a loose comparison talking about like the Gel Light 3 versus the like React Visions or something like that. Like the React shoes are super comfortable. They are. But the visual, that's where the compromise comes in, right? Some of them look pretty decent, don't get me wrong, but lots of times it's just a compromise of like, do you want ultra comfort or do you want a better look? And this is a solid blend of both, Let's see. So sleeping, my spelling's messed up. Hey, it happens, man. I'm not going to hold it against you. Let's see. The 3s don't have enough earth tone and brown colorways, so I don't really buy them. I mean, I'm inclined to agree with that. I have an earth tone color, but like the SBD Gel Light 3s, those are earth tones, but they're made of recycled things. And they're made to, the earth was the whole idea of that shoe, so it just makes sense. But I think there's like a brown denim pair that just came out, right? I feel like I saw a brown denim Gel Light 3 not too long ago. Let me see about that. Because, I try not to do it a whole lot, but sometimes I'll find myself on the ASICS site, and I'll just type in Gel Light 3 and just see what comes up. Ooh, boy. I mean, if I could spell it right, that would help. So I'm not even tired, really. I think I'm just not spelling right. Is that? Let me see here. I can share the screen, right? Share screen. Where's that Chrome tab? Gel Light 3. Oh, now they want to throw some ad at me or something. You people. So, okay, maybe it's not brown. It's kind of like a gray, maybe. And then the color's Metropolis. So I don't know about that. But I did see those recently, like popped up on the search. It's like it's a pretty decent color. Then, as you can see, it kind of has like a denim sort of vibe to it. It's got a little bit of a leather patch on the back. And where's the front view? Yeah, it's kind of gum bottom thing. Some tag on. Okay, yeah. Some denim Japan. This the more I look at these, the more I'm inclined to buy these because they looked cool before. And this is how it happens, people. This is how it happens. You're seeing it right before your eyes. What's this one looking like? No. Solid pass on this blue pair. I don't know what you guys think. I'll leave it up for a second so you guys can actually see it. But yeah, that blue pair, not a fan. Meanwhile, let me jump back over here to these comments. Well, it's possible to go for your size. IEs are not for me. Yeah, and yeah, if you guys are ever going for stuff, like I'm usually not. So if you like give me the word, I can put in for you. Let's see. They're also hard to pull off because all the colorways are way too overblocked where you have to match your outfit. Yeah, and that's where I just kind of don't really think too much about it. I mean, like my Back Streets of Japan. Is it like my Back Streets of Japan, like what's that, like the ivory black or whatever? It's got a little bit of green in there. That's a really nice looking one. If you don't have that one, you should get that. Well, I won't say that, but you should look up that one. You should look into it because it's really nice. Logging with Demetrius. What is going on, man? How's things going over there? And what does this says? Seen you from Nicaragua. Wow, you got some really good eyesight, dude. Because I'm inside. Is there like, I don't know how you manage that. But thank you for the compliments. I do appreciate it. I try to put out some decent content. Sometimes it works. And she says, hello, Demetrius. And Japanese denim is expensive. Wait, what is it? Those are 120. That's not even bad. Let's see. The SBDs were very interesting, I must admit, but I don't know about the durability of recycled materials. Those are on top real quick. I can pull those out. Got nothing else going on. So, yeah. The first time I ever bought a shoe, let me take this thing off. I think we've got the point that blue pair is not great. The first time I bought a shoe from shoesupsleevesdown or whatever however you pronounce that, I want to say it was the University Gold Safari Presto. Man, that was an ordeal. And then Yeezys has size 11. So yeah, this right here, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I feel like the durability is going to be pretty good on these, just based off of, you know, what I'm seeing here. Like this down here around the toe box and all that stuff's feeling pretty good. It feels like it's going to have another pair. Yeah. I mean, considering comparing like one to another, like this being like the standard materials, this being not the standard materials, this one's definitely feeling way more durable than this. This feels like, you know, I don't want to say fragile, but like you want to be careful. This feels like you could take this out and go on a nature hike if you wanted to and be okay. So the one thing that is questionable is like this part up here, because it's kind of like, let's see if I angle this right. So this blue part, right? The blue part in there, it's kind of like a plastic piece over that, and then there's just like recycled foam is what you're seeing behind there. It's actually see-through, right? And so that stuff in there it looks like it could kind of get scratched up easily or whatever, and if it does, like it might not be very forgiving, but it's also like high enough on the shoe that I feel like it wouldn't be a problem. And the laces, they got this burlap thing, so that's probably fine. The inside's got like that weird used towel sort of vibe going on. I'm feeling like that's pretty good too. But ultimately, yeah, I would say that this is probably a pretty durable shoe. I can't vouch for it personally because I've only worn them once, twice if you count the on foot, but let's be honest, that doesn't count. Let's see. Yeah, both of my New Balances are made in the UK's. One is a trail shoe, and it's like the nicest material that I've had on something in a long time, especially hands down like my best trail shoe. And those 920s are just really good as well. Let's see. Going to count the SVD or the Maze pair next to you. Oh yeah, these. Yeah, I mean, what sucks about these, and like I didn't know going into it because I bought these from the SVD site, right? I won a raffle on there, and I didn't do the conversion in my head. I just assumed that whatever amount of euros they were showing was equivalent to $120. It was not. These things like 170, and then I probably had to pay extra shipping because they were coming from Italy or something. So this was an expensive endeavor. It really was, but they are nice. I liked them a lot more once I got them and actually like went through the review because I was kind of like, eh. But as I was going through and looking at them, and then when I was doing the editing, I was like, you know, I'm looking at all these close-up pictures. I'm like, man, these are actually pretty nice because that's the on feet. I don't really watch the on feet. I just like crop the video how it needs to be cropped, and I just throw it on there and move on. Make sure everything's in the frame. But it's like I see like the close-ups of them, and that's what sells me on a shoe, which is why as much work as I do to make sure like the on feet look decent, I don't care about them at all. If I had to choose one, I'll take the close-ups over the on feet any day. Let's see, where was I? I feel like I missed something. Okay, the Maze has a neutral earthy yellow, so that's what I'm leaning towards. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, I would say you might. Well, actually, no. These are in stock in a lot of places. But if people start like catching on to them, I don't know if Adidas, or excuse me, if Asics has more on the way. But it seems like something that people are starting to buy into. Whereas this one, I think people are holding off because that 170 is kind of a lot. Kind of like the Malaysia Towers pair. Like, I don't know if you saw that video. I did that one like a while ago, like a long while ago. That's a nice one too. And it's only 140, you know, for a premium style. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. This is where we left off. In terms of comfort, what would be the king of your rotation? Honestly, like there's no king of the rotation right now because if you've been honest, like straight up, like if you look at my shorts playlist, that has covered every shoe that I've worn every day since early December, like the 8th or something. And there's nothing that I go back to more than anything else because I'm just trying to not do repeats. But the one thing that I can recommend universally for comfort is probably I recommend the Gel-Lyte 3s often because they're cheap and comfortable, minus this pair. Looking at this pair, like standard upper materials, standard pricing, can't go wrong with it. The Ultraboosts are nice. It's just that the price point is kind of a hard sell, and the look of it, especially in its current iterations, it's not for everybody. But so the Gel-Lyte 3 is a little more of one I can recommend because it's like a total package. And then the React Vision. The React Vision is really nice, but you can't find them anymore so much. So that kind of sucks. So I guess I'll just go with the Gel-Lyte 3 because it's what I'm thinking of in the moment. Because the Adidas has done some good things, but if the Ultraboost 19, my 19 should be in that stack, right? Yeah. If the Ultraboost 19 was still around, that one would carry a lot of weight. Because to me, for a long time, that was ultimately the best Ultraboost, right? since I just went through a bunch of Ultraboost things, I have everything fairly handy. So they went from where's an older one? So they went from like the squishy style midsole to this one where like they added more boost and made it look a little stiffer, but stiffer in a good way. And then having like nice stitching over here to kind of like lock your foot down in the front. This whole shoe was just made so well that this was like for a long time, like what I would say, you know. But times change, you know. Let's see. I feel like I burned my finger. Yeah, these laces, it's weird. Luckily, like once I get them, cause like that's how I tie all my shoes, you know. So once I get them done, like I can just kind of slip them on from there. But it felt so weird, like doing that, like tying those things. Let's see. So if the plastic wears away or rips, you have a trail of foam. Like, yeah. So you'll at least be able to get back where you came from. Let's see. Politics has been coming in clutch with a lot of ASICs. I don't know that we have one around here, but I suppose there is an ASICS store. It's either in Williamsburg or Norfolk. Not sure where. I need to check that out sooner or later. My silver gel Kayano 14 retros are king of my comfort. I could see that. I haven't worn mine lately, well, at all. Which I bought like multiple running shoes to do reviews, and I just keep forgetting, honestly. But one other thing that like kind of an unsung hero of my collection, what's that thing? The Pegasus Trail 3. The Pegasus Trail 3. If you're like a trail person or you just walk around outside, like outdoors a lot, those things are phenomenal. They got like the React midsole, but like they still have like a normal look to them. Man, those things, like I bought the pair for me, my mom, and my dad. We went to hit some trails recently. Man, those things are nice. Let's see. Next, before it was that gel. What do I have? I have some Kayano. Do I have Kayanos? I feel like I have a Kayano and a Nimbus and a Cumulus. I feel like I have all three, but I'm not sure what the numbers are, honestly. Let's see. Because of you and Anthony Levine, I started to get back into ASICs. Bad. Yeah, he got me because like I said, like when this year started, I owned one pair of ASICs, and it was what do they call that color? It's like orange something. It was like there's like a little bit of orange, a little bit of purple. I forget what they call it. It's kind of like the Air Max 90 recrafts were on the side of the box. It was like, it didn't reference like most of the colors on the shoe, but that one. I had React Vision in my store. Yeah, that's the only ones that's out there, but I have seen a JD black and white, a JD React Vision that has a different upper to it. I was looking at it today in Finish Line. It looks like that upper might take away from what made me recommend it, though. And that is kind of a problem. Let's see. Politics is actually, you know what? I bought something from Sneaker Politics. It was my Nigeria Prestos. They were one of the few places that had them in stock in my size, and I was all for it. Let's see. I'll check for your size. Oh, yeah. Like, please, like, if they got something over there, you know me, I don't want to say I'm always in the market for shoes, because like I'm never in the market for shoes, but I'm always buying them. Speaking of which, I'm still wondering about these denim gel light 3s. Because if I buy those, like I could probably just get those beat pair too. Because like there's a beat pair, kind of like the sunflower pair, but it's like a different color. Obviously, I don't even know why I said that, but I kind of want those too. So, but I'm trying to. The sucky part is like if I buy them, that's more reviews to do, but I think if I get them now, they'll be here by the end of the month, so I'd be able to get that video out before October. The goal is always to get the videos out before the month is over, right? So we'll see though. It's a thing I don't need, but I mean. Realistically, like I probably only need like 3 pairs of shoes, you know. I mean, a running pair, a trail pair, because you want something that's going to be good for that. Something casual, I guess, right? But the running pair could be the casual shoe too, right? I mean, how many people have you seen walking around in actual running shoes just casually? I see people in Brooks shoes all the time, just walking around in them, like the ghosts and stuff. So it happens. But yeah, past that, because like with my job, like I can wear whatever I want to work, so I don't need to worry about wearing like boots to protect me from like dropping anything on my feet or whatever. I just go with whatever I want to wear. So yeah, I would say, I mean, what do you guys think? Like ideally, like if you only had enough shoes that made like sense, not like, oh, I want to get these in multiple colors. Like how many pairs of shoes do you really think that you truly need? I think I'm gonna side with, I think three might be the count, just because that would cover everything I do. Well, no, possibly a fourth one for like a utility thing. Because again, like for the rain and stuff, the trail shoe might work for that, but sometimes the trail shoes feel like trail shoes. So we'll go four. We'll say like casual wear shoe, running shoe, trail shoe, and then utility. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that, so with that in mind, I have way more than I need. I've actually just done, I've covered all those right here, probably in, I think this stack right here. Yeah, for the most part, this stack right here covers everything I need out of that lineup. And that's just all Ultra Boost. Let's see. So where was I? Do I have Nike? I've never even heard of the Nike Overbreak. Let's see, which is more timeless. I am going to say this one more time because I might have said it before, but if not, I don't care for Air Force Ones, period. I think they aren't okay, right? I know people are into them and whatever. Sure, do your thing. And the Superstars, those have shell toes on them, and I do not like shell toes. So I I don't know, like my personal bias is too strong to even attempt to answer that question. So, but just siding with Run DMC, I'm gonna go with the Adidas because Run DMC, and I like them more than Nelly. So there's my answer. Let's see, Nike Sakai. No, is my opinion on those. Short and sweet. I had to get rid of a bunch of pairs, a bunch of sneakers because I was getting them on a deal. Plus, I was running out of room. Yeah, it is. It really is a stupid thing to do, right? Because I look around, like I'm moving stuff around, like organizing things, and I'm looking at it like, why do I even have all this stuff, right? Like, there's no reason to truly justify it, right? It isn't. I mean, obviously, that doesn't necessarily like change my view on things completely. It makes me more selective, but honestly, like I I'm mostly just selective because I have so many. If this was 5 years ago, I'd be just as like I was back then, just buying stuff willy nilly. Like, oh, that's kind of a cool color. That's cheap. Let's add it to the cart. Let's get it in the house. But I do like having different things that I can pull out at different times. It's cool, like when I'm like this month when I'm doing my little themed weeks for shoes and stuff, I can say, you know what, I'm gonna go with all different types of boosts for this week, or I'm gonna go with all different types of Air Maxes for this week, or I'm gonna go with all black and yellow shoes. Like it's cool to be able to like do that and have some sort of like different selections or whatever. But again, after you reach a certain point, after you reach like, I say, like, if you have more than like 20 pairs of shoes or something, like you wearing them, it's not going to happen all that often. It's like once a month, right? For me, I mean, I don't have a count on how many shoes that I have, but given that I have like 150 short videos in my little thing, so obviously at least 150. So that means that if I wear a pair a pair a day, right? That's like half the year right there, right? And the way it's shaping up, I'm gonna hit December without doing any repeats, like no question, right? I could not buy another shoe this year and probably, yeah, easily still do that. So it's unnecessary, totally unnecessary. But it's what I do. You know, it's what a lot of people do. Nelly and OD with the Air Force Ones. Yeah. Wait, okay, I thought I missed something. But yeah, it's a thing, it's good conversation, right? But at the same time, you don't necessarily need all of them to be able to like have those conversations, you know? It's just kind of cool sometimes to be able to like pull them out and talk about different things. One thing that does help, at least for me, for my things, is like I think it's super important to like not just buy stuff, but to have like some kind of story behind it, you know, or like something that actually pulls you in. Like whether you like with these, like whether you bought them because you had a solid misunderstanding of something about it, okay, sure, whatever. Or if, you know, it's like nostalgia or whatever, like, you know, that's a thing that weighs in too. I mean, when you see, if you watch the whole video, whenever I do this one, you'll see why this happened. So there's a lot of stuff. And even with these, like initially I just liked this shoe, but now I've got a somewhat funny yet somewhat sad story to tell when I talk about them. And the same goes with a lot of these other Ultra Boosts. Like sometimes like the whole thing, you see something you really like and you want to test it out. Sometimes it's like those Yeezys I pulled out, the first pair, you know, it's kind of an origin of sorts, right? So I'm not gonna, I can't side with the people that just buy things because they're like, oh man, like this is like Jordan did this thing in this shoe. It's like, what's that got to do with you? Hmm? Like I get you like him, but like you're gonna buy the shoe he like I don't know mowed his lawn in just because it's built off of that colorway or something. Like where does it stop? You know? But again, to other people, do whatever you do. It's your money. I don't care. But and then there's Yago. So okay, that's cool. Sure, whatever. But yeah, I just don't really get into what a lot of people are. A lot of people's mindsets just it works for them. That's enough. That's how I'm gonna put that. But anyway, so what do you guys say? What's going on out there in the world? Let's see. Let's got 10 over here. People that are still hanging out. Because otherwise, yeah, it is what 10:30. Probably should consider like getting around to what is this? People commenting on stuff or something. Somebody said something about dropping wisdom. Could be about anything. I have no idea what that comment is in reference to. I tell you, like when I get the notifications for like comments or whatever, it's like I have no idea where it's going. Like people will say things, and I'm like, and I'll like see that, but then I have to click on the thing, see like what video is this? Because I need some context behind this thing. Let's see. Then moving on. Here in my country, it's so expensive to start a collection, having a stack of shoes. That's why your videos are good because I was pulling up reach. Well, I appreciate that, you know. I mean, I know like as far as like becoming a successful YouTube channel, like my collection doesn't really lend itself to that, but it's stuff that I like, you know. And I said this before, and I think the last live I did, were like, if I took the same amount of money that I spend monthly on shoes or whatever, and I was to go ahead and like divert those funds into like getting early Jordans and early this or whatever, financially, this channel would be doing like a lot better. I'd be spending again the same amount of money, but and I wouldn't be as into the videos, but I'd be making more money. But what's the point in that, right? I'd rather just buy the stuff that I like. And what's cool is like this little, you know, I don't know, this lineup of stuff that I do get, it's cool because like people that find the channel are into it, like because they're like kind of following that other path. It's not just the latest thing that has a couple names attached to it. They're legitimately curious about the React Vision. So they watch the video. They're like, oh, the Ultra 4D. Let's see what that's all about. It's got no names on it, but it's cool though. Getting the because then I can sit here and I can talk to the 9 of you that are watching and just kind of hang out. And I don't know, some people ask about things that I don't pay attention to because like I don't like the way Sakai's look. If I'm picturing the right shoe, it just that the shape to it is just not for me. But ultimately, the bulk of you are here because you like something about the shoes that I generally show off, or you're just bored and just stumbled into the room and you're like, I can listen to this. Maybe I've been told that the way I talk has put some people to sleep. So maybe it's late and you're just trying to fall asleep. So you're just listening to me talk about things. I mean, that happens. I'll tell you, like, honestly, like it's been a little while, but I used to post little teaser clips of my reviews on Instagram. It would honestly like not even be a teaser clip because if you watched those clips, it was like a minute, but it would like basically give you the full review. But I was getting one of those set up, right? So had Premiere pulled up and I clicked on the video to kind of like start watching for like the point that I needed. And next thing you know, I'm like waking up and I'm like, oh my God, like they were right. This really does knock you out if you're not ready for it. So yeah, you gotta be ready. Let's see. If they mass produce the cars, nobody. And that's the thing. Like, though, sometimes I wish they would just mass produce things at least for like a little while, just to kind of kill off the hype. Like if they did that with like dunks, if they took like the next 2 or 3 months of dunk releases, which would equate out to like 50 pairs probably, because those things come out all the time, and they mass produced them like, I don't know, like an Air Max 90. Yeah, I feel like that would bring things down and people would be like, okay, we're over this. And then they can get back to putting them in like normal numbers. And people would probably just realize that, all right, it is really just like a standard thing. It's not special anymore. I'm just waiting on, and I'm not even like a huge dunk guy, like I don't have a pair, but I also don't care. Like I look at them and I'm wondering like, I don't even know if I would like them, because I'm not a huge Jordan 1 guy. And they're kind of close, you know what I'm saying? So I don't even think I would like a pair of dunks. There are some that visually are pleasing, like the Michelangelos and the Donatellos, but ultimately, yeah, I don't even put in on most of them. Like, a lot of people just enter raffles just because. Yeah, I don't do that. I just say screw it. Let's see. I feel like I just answered that question. I didn't pay attention to any shoe in 2000. Like, no, like I didn't really start paying attention to this stuff until like 2016, 2015. So that's why like I can sit here and be impartial and not be like all this nostalgia stuff. I mean, outside of like the pictures up there, right? Obviously the Air Max 360 being my first ever Air Max, that thing kind of holds a special place over here. But all that other stuff, none of that matters to me. I don't care about anything that happened in the past, any legacy of stuff. Like, it's all just things of varying looks to me. And I look at something, and if it doesn't look visually appealing, it doesn't matter. Like, if I have an attachment to it, like I like Dennis Rodman, so yeah, I have a pair of the Shake Indestructs, right? It's a terrible shoe, right? I wore a pair the other day, and I was like, oh man, I don't like this at all. But it's cool to have one for what it is. But I'm glad at the same time that I didn't buy more of them because the one is good. The one is good. Let's see. But okay. But at this point though, I am gonna go ahead and wrap things up. It was good hanging out with everybody though. I really do like doing this. Like I said in a past video, I like doing the lives. It's just that I'm not one to just like sit down in front of the camera and just turn it on and like make up topics or whatever, I usually like to at least have something. So that's why like I'll do an unboxing or something like that, or if there's like when I do my wrestling things, like yeah, the subject will be me watching wrestling, but I'll talk about whatever during the time. So I don't know when the next one of those will be. I don't know when my next live in general will be, but just stop in on the. Well, I can't even say stop in on the channel once and just look, because I often post my lives like an hour before they actually happen. So, and that's on me, right? I don't promote things because I just don't promote things. I don't know, character flaw. But I'll be doing lives from now, every now and then or whatever. So if you are subscribed, like, that's cool. You can hit the little bell thing and whatever, like then you'll get those notifications. But at the same time, I kind of discourage people from that because I post a lot of crap, and so you'll be getting notifications all the time. Though, from what I recall, YouTube only sends out a max of 3 per day to people from one single source. So maybe that's not as big of a factor, but still, like, long story short, if you want to know about lives, I don't know, you're just going to have to like pay attention and hope that you catch them. But I can say that if it's through the week, they're usually around this time. So there is that. But let's see, do I have anything else in here? I'm getting Ultraboost 21. What is the colorway of those behind you? I'll show you the box real quick so you can see all that stuff. It's the the 424 AFC. So if you didn't quite catch that, there's the box. Hopefully that's showing up for you. Yeah, so I have playlists all throughout the channel, right? So to make people find what they want easier. So if you click the channel, like my channel, whatever, on the home section, not the video section, like if you scroll down, I'm thinking like the third section is like Adidas is reviews. So if you click on like the Adidas reviews playlist, just scroll through that, you'll find the review. It'll give you like the full breakdown of it. I mean, you can also just search on the channels, but it seems like people don't really know that you can do that. But yeah, the playlists are there. They're all very well organized. The Adidas playlists, the Adidas reviews playlist only shows actual reviews. If you click on the thing that says Ultraboost videos, that's when you also get the shorts and stuff. So that's kind of how that's separated. I mean, it's going to be all the reviews too, but this depends on what you're in the mood for and as far as which playlist you should watch. And if anybody cares to, feel free to just let those playlists play, I'll get some views out of it. I'm not hurting for views because like I'm getting enough that people show up. So obviously nothing's broke. So I'm not trying to fix anything. But if you care to, supposedly it helps algorithms or whatever, but tagging your videos properly also helps. So, and that I can take that into my own hands. But yeah, so you got them. Okay, cool. Yeah, the 424 AFC. So good luck on your search. They're not terribly old to the point to where they're hard to find, and I feel like but I feel like they're old enough that people aren't thinking about them anymore. So I think you might be in like the sweet spot for picking those up, which is a good thing. But for now, excuse me, I think the only way to get those now is through Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, but I'm just guessing that they're probably not going for a lot. I mean, I could be wrong, but as cool as they are to me, I just feel like it's not an overall mainstream appeal type shoe to where people are like going after them like for that crazy price or whatever. And also, I don't know where you are, but I hear eBay is pretty good for buying shoes nowadays as far as like getting real things. But that's another topic for another day. Maybe we can cover that topic another day. Talk about what people do to like get their shoes and find out about new stuff. It sounds like something to do. But for now, to everybody out there, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you a whole lot for everybody that, 320, Jesus. Well, wait, yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, thank you to everybody that came around and hung out for the last however long you might have hung out, because I've been on here for like 2 hours, 40 minutes. And I know, Wade, you were in here pretty much from the beginning. So thanks again. If anybody has any comments or whatever, you can leave those down in there in the comment section. If you want to see stuff or whatever, let me know. Let me know what's on you guys' minds, because as of right now, I do not have anything on order. And other than those denim gel light 3s, I don't have anything that I'm looking towards. So I think I'm in one of those spots where I can start taking suggestions again. So leave your suggestions wherever you want to leave them. Not necessarily right here in the chat, because that's going to go away soon, but leave them in a comment, because those are forever. But anyway, seriously though, for now, thanks again to everybody that came through. Hopefully we cross paths again later. We'll see what happens later though. Later, people. Let me go ahead and find this end button, and I will catch up with you guys another time. And goodbye to you over in Nicaragua.